the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Lewis driving right, hook it out. Vasar, one bounce to Love. Love drives right around Biddle and slams it home. Oregon will need a miracle now. Evans in the backcourt, throws it to Biddle. He'll throw it up from backcourt, won't matter. The Cats are on to the Sweet 16.
And that Sweet 16 is tomorrow. T-minus 24 hours at this exact moment. Tomorrow, we'll be coming on the air to get you ready for Arizona basketball in the Sweet 16 for the 21st time. And for the second time in this century, they'll be taking on the Duke Blue Devils in that Sweet 16 round. Both teams were on the floor today in Newark. It was media day for the East Regional. We got a chance to hear from all of the particulars: Alabama, BYU, Duke, Arizona, and the games will get going tomorrow. 4 games tomorrow across the country, 4 games on Friday to decide the Elite 8. And then we'll come back and do it again Saturday and Sunday to punch tickets to the Final Four in San Antonio, Texas. It is DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. J.W. Madden is also here with us. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Want to talk to you today. We're going to hear from a lot of the folks back in Newark, New Jersey. We have enlisted the services of New York-based sports reporter Mark Ernay. He was at the arena today talking to the Wildcats for you. We'll hear a number of his interviews. He caught up with Tobe Awaka, Jaden Bradley, Carter Bryant, Henry Vasar. We'll also hear from the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, of course, as well as the players that were at the podium today, Caleb Love, KJ Lewis, and Trey Townsend. We had a chance to speak with KJ and Caleb yesterday, as well as Tommy Lloyd yesterday. And one of the things, you heard that highlight off the top, that when the first of the highlights was the slam dunk by Caleb Love. And going back and watching the tape once again, and we talked a little bit about this on the shows prior to and after the game on Sunday against the Oregon Ducks. But one of the things we're seeing a lot of lately is some really nice pick action between Caleb Love and Henry Vasar. I talked about the Akron game where, and the thing that's interesting about it, J-Dub, is we're seeing it from a number of different places on the floor. In the Akron game, it seemed like they were kind of running a little bit of a post pick down low. We saw the one time Caleb came off, fed it right back to Henry for a dunk. They came back down, then very next time, possession down, ran the same play. Caleb pulled up for a jumper. And then in the Oregon game, they brought out that double post high handoff. We saw that a number of times. We saw the play you played at the top there. That was the double post handoff at the top. Second screen by Henry. Caleb caught Biddle napping and went by him for a dunk. There was that stretch. I think he scored like 10 points in a row.
Yeah.
And I think on at least 3 of those buckets, they ran that same play. The other 2 times he came off of the screen and hit 3-point shots off of it.
And it makes sense if you think about it, because Henry Vasar is a threat from the outside. He's capable of knocking down that 3, DK. So if you're talking about screen action with Caleb, you have to respect Vasar with his reach and his size to be able to get that shot off and reliably make it. So with that being a threat, Vasar is a roller, DK. We love Trey Townsend. We love Tobe Awaka, but neither of those guys can take off from 12 feet out. And like Rhino said, how did he dunk that? Vasar has the ability with his length to attack the rim from much further distance out. So as a roll man, he doesn't have to put the ball on the ground, DK, to attack and affect the rim. And Caleb, everybody knows who Caleb Love is. Everybody knows that he can score from all 3 levels. So the action between those 2 guys together makes perfect sense, because Caleb, I think his biggest growth that I've seen over the course of his career is really reading the defense and seeing what it is that he can do to take advantage of that defense. A second guy comes up to him. I mean, his assist numbers the last couple of years, 3.5, decent turnover rate. He sees the court very well. And that little pocket pass, short pass to the roller, if you have a guy who's a threat from the outside, Vesar can also stop and hit the 12-footer so he can hit the mid-range as well. Caleb can put the ball on the ground, get by his line of defense. If Vesar is in that action with him, rolling or staying out there on the perimeter, both of those two guys in that set, DK, are threats from all three spots. Caleb can get to the rim and dunk on people. So can Henry Vesar. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And this is the first year they've played together. So maybe we didn't see that quite fluidity in November and December, even parts of January. But lately, because they have a lot more time together on the court, it's really a read and react. And both guys have to simultaneously read what the defense is doing against that set and both make the correct read. And that's when it leads to a wide open dunk. It's worked more often than not lately, DK. It's really good to watch when you have a threat in both the roll, both the pick and the ball handler positions.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. We want to hear from you. So, obviously, and we went over this a little bit earlier in the week, one of the things that came out of that game, and J-Dub, go ahead and make me hot over here. I'm going to play something from this side. One of the things that came out of that game was a lot of chatter afterward about, and we talked about it on the post-game show, Tobe Awaka sitting for 8 minutes at the end of the game. And nobody asked Tommy Lloyd about that in the post-game afterward. It was a little bit of a different post-game, obviously coming off of a win. And really, I think there was the players did most of the talking in the post-game press conference. There was only really 2 questions to Tommy in there, and neither one of them had to do with that. So we had a local availability with Tommy Lloyd yesterday, and I had a chance to ask him about the final 8 minutes with Tobe Awaka on the bench. Let's hear how that went and what the coach had to say. A lot of folks, Tommy, were talking after the ball game about, obviously Tobe was on the bench for that 8-minute stretch. What went into the philosophy that you were trying to just maybe protect him?
David, we're going to the Sweet 16, third time in 4 years. Like, listen, sometimes as coaches, you got to make tough choices. And Tobe played great. He helped us, came in and got a big rebound at the end. We've been closing with a certain lineup for a while, had some success with it. So I'm fired up to be playing, and I know this. Our guys are in good spirits, and they believe in what we're doing.
So there you go. That's the answer to the question. I think the answer, and a lot of people maybe not necessarily get what they wanted out of that, but he says they've been playing with that lineup at the end of games. I'd have to go back and review games recently to find out if pretty much that's what they've been going with. But it seemed like we talked about on Sunday night, J-Dub, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. If it doesn't work, maybe we're having a completely different conversation. But I think it goes back a lot to what you just said with some of the actions that they can run with Caleb Love, with Henry Vesar in the game versus some of those other guys that maybe you can't get Caleb some of those shots that you need him to get late with those other guys.
I think a lot of fans sometimes will look at a box score, and maybe it's 3/4 of the way through the game, DK, and they'll see, well, Tobe has 14 rebounds. He's killing it out there. He needs to play as many minutes as humanly possible. But here's another scenario. Let's say Anthony Del Orso makes 4 out of 5 threes. Does that mean you want Anthony Del Orso in the last 5-minute stretch over KJ Lewis? You know what I mean? Like statting in the box score does not necessarily mean that you are in that closer's role. I think the best way to look at it is guys who contribute at any stage of the game does not necessarily, it's not the NBA, right? It's not the idea where like you go straight to an ISO play with the guy because he's got the hot hand. It's more that you've contributed throughout the course of the game to leading potentially towards a win by the Cats. And coach is always going to go with who he feels the closing lineup. That will, I think, change based on their opponent more than anything else, because if there's a big guy in there, obviously they want Tobe, trying to keep him off the boards. 4 fouls had a lot to do with that 8-minute stretch. But, yeah, I agree. I think if you watch the closers, it's almost always KJ, Carter Bryant, Bradley Love. I mean, Bradley never comes off the court. And then more or less Vesar has been a guy recently and Townsend Awaka are interchangeable, I think. But it's really dependent on that action we're talking about with Caleb. If you want, offense, Vasar is also a rim protector. It just depends on the situation. But we shouldn't get super caught up in like what somebody does in the first half to affect the box score relative to how I think it's more, do they average 21 minutes a game for the entire season? Well, why are they going to get 40? Right? Why is coach going to put that guy in for 36 if he's, his standard rotations lead more towards a 22, 25 minutes per game average? I think people wanted to see Tobe get his 20th rebound in that game. And really what it was Biddle. I mean, Biddle, the senior, and Tobe did what it really was visually, the eye test. You could see Tobe did a much better job at keeping Biddle off the glass, and Vasar was getting pushed around a little bit. And I think that's where, during that stretch, when Oregon started to come back, that's when a lot of chatter was, hey, where the heck's Tobe? How come he's not in this game? Because he was handling Biddle on the block and moving and pushing him away from the block. Henry Vasar, not as much. That's probably where a lot of that originated. But hey, they got the win, and I trust Coach Lloyd to make those decisions down the stretch for the best interest of the team.
I was hoping to get in a follow-up question, and should have maybe done it yesterday, but didn't really think about it at the time. Wanted to get one into him today, but of course it's Zoom from a distance, so we didn't get any questions in to the head coach. But I wanted to kind of find out from him what the teaching moment there was for Henry in that situation. What did you talk to him about? What he took away from that experience, how he can be better in those situations, if not this week, moving forward when he faced those big, strong post guys that he's going to face next season. And I don't know. I mean, is there something technique-wise he can do to improve right away? Or is it simply that he's going to have to get back in the lab with Chris Rounds, body by Rounds,
both,
and put about another 15 pounds on in the offseason so he can, push guys like Nate Biddle off the block starting next season?
Both. I think if you think about how much Dennis Rodman did you watch when he played? That guy was not a big, thick dude for the most part relative, but he got every single rebound because he understood that it's a lot of times if a big guy, DK, is trying to put his backside on you and you cannot get around that because he's he's got more leverage than you do. Faking left and going right, it's the same thing as off dribble, how you're trying to get around somebody off the dribble. There are ways to get around box outs, and it's really a matter of senior strength versus sophomore strength, I think is what we're talking about here. And know-how and in understanding how those moments work. Biddle has been around. He's been in the lineup, in the rotation there for Oregon his whole career. Obviously, Vasar only got spot minutes as a freshman, sat out last year with injury, and is still trying to figure out some of those finer details. But I think for the most part, Henry Vasar is very good at getting rebounds and high pointing them, and maybe not as much about getting his body physically into guys. The way to do that is you crouch as low as you can and try to get leverage back on them. He's a much more stood up, straight kind of a player to begin with. Not that he's not trying to get low and box guys out, but in a situation like that, I just think the know-how and veteran style of play that Biddle brought to it was giving him a little bit of problems in the last 6-minute stretch. But for the most part, I think Henry Vasar held his own quite well against the senior for the overall. It's just that contrast between watching Tobe Awaka snatch a board in amongst 3 other Oregon players, really strong hands, which we don't really talk about as much, or a ball getting tipped out to the perimeter because Biddle got the leverage on Vasar. That's really what you see. It's just technique. And strength definitely plays a part in it as well. I'm sure Rounds will get with Henry in the offseason, without a doubt.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. A lot of conjecture on Twitter about what the coach had to say. Chris chimes in, says, and this was something we actually went over. I told Chris. He says, one thing I love about Kelvin Sampson is he lays out all of his decisions and scouting plans in post-game interviews. Really wanted a real answer from Tommy on this, because these are the types of decisions that Tommy's doubters point to. And he's absolutely right on there, Chris, on both of those points. I mean, we had it on the pregame show the other night. We did a whole segment on how Kelvin Sampson laid out the changes they made in the second half of that Houston game to come back and beat the Wildcats. But again, Kelvin Sampson is 30 years into his coaching career. Tommy Lloyd is 4 years into his coaching career.
And slight correction, I'm not sure if he said pre and post, but I will say Kelvin Sampson did not talk at all about Arizona in the pregame.
No,
what he did was the first thing
Postgame.
he said in the postgame, he said to one of his local reporters, he said, okay, now I can talk about Arizona.
Right.
Right? And yeah, I think, well, I mean, look, anybody, you talk about coaches taking plays from each other and that whole thing, DK, it's all on the internet. We've got YouTube. You can go and look up any game and watch the way that teams are playing. So there's no hiding. I mean, what is Kelvin Sampson going to hide? His game plan after 40 minutes of playing a game?
Right.
He's going to lay out, well, this is what we thought we could do. What he said was there were 3 guys, DK. He did not name the 3 players. He said there are 3 guys
we thought we
could target,
Right.
and that's what they did for the last 10 minutes. So, again, I think after the fact, especially a championship press conference like that was, the Big 12 championship postgame press conference, Kelvin Sampson was happy to lay it out. I think, Coach Lloyd definitely a little closer to the vest, but he's certainly the chaotic style that Arizona plays with. I think he embraces that. I think he likes the idea that there isn't this is exactly how we're doing it. He is not trying to give sound bites to other coaching staffs, and he's certainly not trying to let other players that they're going to be competing against know what they're trying to do. So I think he's less open about those X's and O's things that he's doing more than anything.
And I got my first David.
Love it. Love it.
Move over, Bruce. We have a David, finally, from the head coach. All right, 520-848-1290, DK on the sports tip. We'll get into everything we've got coming up for you. We're going to talk a lot of championship basketball today. Brian Peabody from Pima College is going to join us later in this hour, and also Mark Renee from New York City, who was covering your Cats today at the Sweet 16. Cricket is here, and she is going to have something for you as well coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Stay tuned for that. Right now, she's got your traffic and your weather on another warm and glorious day in southern Arizona.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collision center or a crash reported I-10 near Palo Verde. That collision occurred from the westbound side of I-10. West of Palo Verde, Irvington, collision mostly off in the median. There are some slowdowns on the westbound side of I-10 as you approach and pass Alvernon Way. 59 the overnight low, 88 sunny tomorrow, and 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big. But there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Thursday at 6:39, it's Arizona and Duke in the Sweet 16.
He'll drive it into the paint, to the bucket. It's good, and to the line for 1.
Pre-game coverage begins at 3 on your home for Arizona basketball. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
There aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Wildcat fans, Taco Bell is a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and is ready to serve you. We're open for breakfast. Fire up your mornings with breakfast at Taco Bell. You've heard about Happy Hour? Well, try Happier Hour at your local Taco Bell for $1 beverages. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., choose any regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Mas.
If you're ready to build your dream home, let the Window Depot help. Our expertise spans more than 20 years helping contractors provide custom windows built to last. Our in-house design team works closely with you and your contractor to create the perfect windows. From design to delivery, your contractor will have exactly what they need when they need it. And with the largest inventory and unbeatable prices, your dream windows are just a step away. Visit us in store to get started or find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot. Best prices, biggest inventory.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Call us or text us to do so. Download our app. Our app slaps. We've got all kinds of stuff on there. It was a busy day. How about the 1997 national champions getting college coaching jobs yesterday? Josh Pastner introduced today as the new coach at UNLV.
You know, Josh's rep here when he was a student was he only slept 3 hours a night because he actually graduated, I think, in 2 years and got his grad degree in 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, his whole thing was never sleeping, and now he's in Las Vegas. So, fitting. The city that never sleeps, right?
There you go. Arizona basketball never sleeps. That's the saying goes. The Sacramento State Hornets are going to hire Mike Bibby as their head coach of men's basketball. Mike Bibby has never coached in college as a head coach or an assistant, but he did win 4 state championships here in Arizona at Shadow Mountain. I was at a couple of those games between 2016 and 2019. So that's going to be his first opportunity as a college coach. Sacramento State trying to put themselves on the map. You might remember they went after Michael Vick to try to coach their football program. He ended up staying on the East Coast, though, and taking a job at one of the HBCUs. I believe he's going to be at Norfolk State. And now they went after and gotten a big name, former Sacramento King in Mike Bibby, to be their head coach. So the 1997 national champions back on the coaching scene. Third gig for Josh. He was at Memphis and then at Georgia Tech. And now he'll take over the program at UNLV.
I think those of us around knew that it was only a matter of time before the Lute Olson coaching tree really had a chance to blossom, right? Because we've seen what Coach Kerr has done, and obviously Luke Walton had a moment there for a bit, but The idea of teaching fundamentals and the right way to play basketball, DK, was a big reason why players came here.
Right.
Do that for 30, 35 years. There's going to inevitably be players who are very successful that take on a lot of those same philosophies and have success in their own right as coaches. So it's great to see a lot of Coach Olson's former players getting jobs and being successful.
No question about that. No question about that. We're going to talk to a pretty successful coach coming up later in this hour, Brian Peabody, whose Pima College Aztecs finished 35-1 this season and finished third in NJCAA Division II. 520-848-1290. Let's hear from Bill. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, first, congratulations to that coach you just mentioned. That's a big deal, what he did coming in third. There's a lot of JUCO schools out there. That's really a cool thing for Tucson. The comment I wanted to make was about Coach Lloyd. The one thing is, and I was with you guys on not putting that, the guy in, at the end of the game. I was beside myself as well as people beside me, but we also know he's does a lot better job than I could. But the one thing is, to me, the most important thing at his level, and I heard from a D1 coach one time, is that they asked him, what's your best attribute? And he said, the coach responded, the ability to demand. That basically, to generalize, to get the best out of each player that player can give up. And I think that's the one thing that Coach Lloyd did, because I'm looking at results, and, you can pick apart different things. But, if you think back to the UCLA game, from a UCLA game, their first time in the Big 12, they come in, second? In the tournament, they come in second. And they beat Kansas basically in Kansas because the tournament was in Kansas City. And so, it's just one great run. And I think I have my own conspiracy theory about Duke only has to fly an hour and a half to Newark, and or Oregon would have to go cross country. So I just really want to, just put some kudos on Coach Lloyd, because I really think he's done a phenomenal job. Really, if you look at from UCLA game early in the year on, because they looked horrible. They looked weak, and nobody gave them a shot. And they really, really changed. And your comment about Vassar, is he just doesn't right now. He's a great player, just doesn't have the lower body strength. That's the thing. And like you said, he has to get in his lower body. That guy, his butt was the size of Rhode Island. There's no way he can get around it. So, and the guy's a player, and they knew it. And that coach is a good coach, so that's why they kept going to it. And that's why we were beside ourselves that he didn't put the other guy in. But all right, well, thank you again, and I just wanted to make that comment about Coach Lloyd.
Always great stuff, Bill. Thank you so much for your call. 520-848-1290. Like we said,
Rhode Island's pretty big, DK.
Chris Rounds will take care of that booty. he'll put a little muscle on that booty for Henry.
I think Rhode Island booty has to be a lyric somewhere in a song coming up shortly somewhere.
Oh man.
My favorite aspect of Coach Lloyd is when he comes into a post-game press conference, he's the first to say, we could coach better.
Mm-hmm.
DK. I mean, infallible coaches who say we have, who get red in the face and we have all the answers and you wouldn't even understand what it is we're trying to do here. You just said it. I mean, he spent 20 years on the bench behind Coach Few, but this is his fourth year calling all the shots. And I think he's adaptable and open to change and open to changing the way that he sees things based on the situation. I think that's the most admirable thing to me. And maybe down the road, he puts Awaka back in, right? But it really worked out in that case. And obviously, like Bill said, fans sitting there watching Biddle, the fourth-year senior, take advantage of the sophomore Vassar in the post. Of course, they wanted to see the 270-pound Tobe Awaka, who had 13 rebounds to that point in the game, back in, because they knew that Awaka could handle him. The 4 fouls. There's a lot of factors going in there. Bottom line, they won the game.
All right, some things to tell you about as it relates to tomorrow. We are going to be on the air at 3 o'clock. Our show is going on the road. We are going to be out at Union Public House. We were out there for the selection show a few Sundays ago. We're going to be back out there for the game tomorrow. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, coming to you live from Union Public House. The courtyard will be out there, kind of same place we were in that little fake grassy area there right inside the entrance to the courtyard between Union and Reforma. So come on out and join us tomorrow. We'll be on the air from 3 to 6. And then obviously tip-off scheduled for 6:39. It'll be the second of the two games in Newark tomorrow. Arizona Sports Enterprises, they had their party last week at Playground. They're rolling down the street, though, this week to the Monica. So the Arizona Sports Enterprises is sponsoring a watch party at the Monica. It'll be the official watch party location. So come on down there as well and watch the Arizona men's basketball team at 6:39 against Duke. They've got all kinds of great things at the Monica. Extended happy hour from 3 to close, $3 off selected items. They got an outdoor patio, 80-inch TVs. So head on down to the Monica as well tomorrow. There's just a couple of locations. We'll be at Union Public House. You can also head down to the Monica and watch the game tomorrow. All right, we've got Mark Ernay from New York who's covering the Wildcats for us this week at the Sweet 16. He was at the arena today and had a chance to catch up with Jaden Bradley, the Arizona Wildcats point guard, about this upcoming game, the rematch against the Duke Blue Devils.
You have several guys that you've played with who are going to play the first game tomorrow night. What has the interaction been like with your former Alabama teammates the last couple of days?
I've been watching, been tuned in. Definitely got some guys still on there. Rooting for those guys, and want to see them go out. Do their thing for sure.
Has there been any chit chat about how you guys might wind up in the regional final here on Saturday?
Nah, we just just focusing on one game at a time, and if that happens, that happens. But definitely you can't in this tournament. You can't overlook anything. Anything is possible for sure.
How cool is it for you to be in this situation with this team this season?
Man, it's great. We started off a little bit slow, and coach just believed in us, and our players, we believed in each other, and we're making it happen right now, but we still got a long way to go.
You saw Duke at your place before Thanksgiving. How different is your team now than it was that night?
Yeah, for sure. Duke's a great team, but I feel like we were just scratching the surface, and we're playing a lot more better, and it's not even just big things, little stuff like we're just moving the ball, everybody's touching it, just going back to our fundamentals.
How different is Jaden Bradley's game on March 26th and 27th than it was back on November 22nd?
Just more calm, just going through my progressions, my reads, getting my teammates involved, looking for my shot when they give it to me. So, just running the team, running the show.
Obviously, the secret to Duke is their star. What do you guys need to do to minimize the damage Cooper Flagg can incur on a team?
He's a great player for sure. But they have a lot of other pieces that that complement him as well. So we got to do a great job on him, and we can't hold him to zero, but just contain him, and just don't let him see the rim as an ocean. And then the other players, we got to do a great job as well. It's going to be a hard task, but we're down for it.
The last thing I have for you, I've asked several of your teammates the same thing. A little fill in the blank if you don't mind. You can't say score more points because that's the obvious answer. But Arizona wins in the Sweet 16 and reaches the Elite Eight if?
Win at 50-50 balls and have less turnovers.
Yeah, 50-50 balls. I talked about that in the game against Oregon. You got to win those 50-50 balls in these big ball games. And that's why I think there was one, I'm trying to remember the one that stood out to me. I think it was actually Tobe Awaka. In one instance, went out there and kind of put his body in the way and deflected it into the corner. And I think that Jaden was able to pick it up and got a break going out of it. So that's what you want to see in big games like
Basically, what he just said was possessions.
Yeah.
Because 50-50 ball is getting the possession. That's a loose ball turnover, sometimes long rebounds. Those are all 50-50 balls. And then cutting down your own turnovers, DK. So the more shots on rim you get, as opposed to throwing the ball out of bounds or stepping out of bounds or traveling or any of those things, and then beat the other team to the balls, that's you getting more opportunities to score the ball. And we all know, or people out there listening should know, Duke is one of the best defensive teams around. and they got a lot of length. So DK, when you're going up against a very good half-court defensive team, 50-50 balls and cutting down your own turnovers, it just leads to more shots at the rim for your team. And if you can get those 50-50 balls and scoop them up and turn them into easy offense early before they can get set, even better.
Jaden Bradley, at least in this season, has 65 steals for the Arizona Wildcats. That's the most by a Wildcat since T.J. McConnell 10 years ago when he had 83. So we've been kind of talking about we haven't really had a do-everything type of point guard in a while here at the University of Arizona. Jaden Bradley starting to put up some numbers of probably the last guy that we could say handled that mantle on a team that was really, really good and able to go deep into the postseason as that 2015 team went to the Elite Eight. DK on the sports tip, 520-848-1290. We're going to talk some college basketball, some junior college basketball. Brian Peabody, the head coach up at Pima College, 35-1, third place nationally. We'll get the thoughts of Brian Peabody on the best team he's ever had up on West Anklam Road right after cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with traffic and weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. New wreck reported downtown at Stone and 6th Street and Stone Avenue. Crash downtown, some slowing at that intersection. Earlier wreck I-10 near Irvington Palo Verde on the westbound side of I-10 west of Palo Verde, Irvington. Rainy overnight low 88, sunny tomorrow 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
Smart solutions to eliminate bugs, bees, and weeds this spring.
Science nerds, choose Essential.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Finding value for the Fall Classic. I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Yes, we all know that the Dodgers are the most likely winner of the World Series, but we're talking baseball, and we haven't seen a repeat winner in 25 years. How about the clubs that met at the end of 2023? Very enticing. Texas 25-1, Arizona 33-1. I'm Joe Ostrowski from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
And your BetMGM Beat the Books top play of the day is brought to you locally by Oral Ford.
It's Truck Month at Oro Ford, and the savings are huge. Get $11,000 off MSRP on new 24 Ford F-150s. Or take $13,000 off MSRP on a new 25 Ford Expedition. Want adventure? Drive home a new 24 Ford Bronco with $6,000 off MSRP. And here's the best part. Oro Ford is an easy drive from anywhere in Tucson, and you'll pay 2% less in taxes. Only at Oro Ford. Oro Ford, where Tucson saves on trucks. Restrictions may apply. See Oro Ford for details.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
One day, while motoring around free and easy and listening to his favorite radio station, Bob heard all about it. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier's one low price included valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. This was music to Bob's ears, as he knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. Such a shame that not every tire dealer advertises total tire prices, he thought. But with this knowledge, I can do better. As synchronicity and predictable cliches would have it, yes, you guessed it. At that moment, Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 convenient locations. With no hesitation and great acceleration, Bob claimed his new set of quite affordable steel-belted radials, installed for one low price at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Thingies included.
Do better like Bob at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the locals' choice for affordable tires and quality auto repair. Jack Furrier's, since 1960, here to get you there.
It's the $10,000 quiz show.
Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off.
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off.
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Whoa! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Most plumbing problems start with a 4-letter word: drip, leak, clog. Whatever your plumbing problem might be, you can trust Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to deliver fast, honest, and reliable service by a plumbing expert that will find the right solution for your plumbing problems. Call us at 520-492-0748 or PicturoxCooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
I'm Bill Ryder with a Sports Minute, and let's give the New York Giants and Russell Wilson some credit. Two lonely, broken people when organizations found each other. It's going to be ugly, but at least they have each other. Remember, Russ has been sacked 133 times since 2022. That's the most in the NFL. The Giants have allowed 182 sacks over that stretch, also the most. I'm Bill Ryder.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is our number. Get in on the program by way of call or text. Let's talk some Pima College athletics. Aztecs basketball with the head coach of the Aztecs men's team, Brian Peabody, joins us coming off a 35-1 season. The Cats, or I should say the Aztecs, finished third overall at the national tournament, best team in school history. Brian, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. I loved the speech you gave afterward where you basically told those guys that, hey, every team that comes after this is going to be judged by you guys. We're going to make sure that everybody knows about this team. There's going to be banners. There's going to be something in the locker room. That's how special this team was.
No, it really was. And there's not a day that goes by where, I don't just cherish the memories that we had with this team. It was just so much fun to be around and coach. And you get a team like this. I've been a head coach for 33 years. You get a team like this every 5 to 10 years. So you just got to really cherish the memories and post them up in the locker room and the walls, and so you never forget it.
Obviously, did not complete the championship. I'm sure, like everybody wanted you guys to. Let's go back to that semifinal game and what kind of happened. Did you kind of get a feeling from the get-go that was going to be a tough one for you guys to win, and how were they able to kind of take you all out of what you do?
No, all the games, I don't think people get that. Like in the national tournament, you've got the 20 best teams around the country. Mm-hmm. We were the only team west of the Mississippi in the national tournament. So there's a lot of Midwest and East Coast teams there. I was looking at the Division I JUCO brackets today. The top 6 teams in Division I JUCO are out of the tournament first round, and everybody can compete at that level. You know, 1 through, I think, probably 1 through 10 all have a chance to win the national title. It's different. People, you know, only look at the ASAC and you're doing the X, Y, and Z, but when you get there, it's just totally different. The teams are better. They're better coached. They're better athletes. They're better basketball players. So anything can happen on a given day. And, you know, everybody I talked to when we played, you know, said by far we were the best team, and they had seen that team play a bunch, and they hadn't shot it that well, you know, the entire year. I think they were, you know, they shot 55% from the three-point line.
Right.
They had a kid come in that had 22 points that was averaging 5 points a game. I think the only thing that surprised that, you know, I could have done a better job in is, you know, we always played with bigs. We had 2, you know, Gabe Oldham and Wes, and those guys played with bigs, and they kind of went small and spread us, and that hurt us, and that kind of surprised me. And it didn't hurt us, you know, down in Arizona, but it did that game.
Yeah, Parkland College out of Champaign was the club that knocked you out, but the guys kind of rallied back and was able to beat Kalamazoo Valley out of Michigan, 103-88. Back to the kind of game that you guys play, getting up and down, scoring 100 points. You mentioned Gabe Oldham. He was named to the all-tournament team. What did you like about Gabe's performance overall there in Illinois?
Well, he's just the most mature player I've ever coached. He's the best leader by far. And he would, if you could just pinpoint one reason that we had the season that we had, it would be Gabe Oldham. And he leads by example. He leads with his voice, and he just put everybody on his back. I did the stats today, and he averaged 14 points and 13 rebounds in the national tournament, which is obviously outstanding, and got him on the first team, you know, the first team all-tournament team. And it was well deserved, you know, and he played his rear end off. And again, that's the hardest thing to do, is get a group of guys after you lose to regroup and concentrate on the game in front of you. And they did it, you know, to perfection.
How did these guys make you better as a coach, do you think, Brian?
That's a great question. You know, I said it all year long. They're more mature than I am. I keep saying that, you know, so hopefully I matured through this whole process. And a lot of times I'm just telling you, I just sat back and let them coach themselves. And I've never done that before. So maybe I'm learning that maybe I just need to keep my mouth shut the entire time and let my guys coach themselves, and they'd be way better off doing that.
We're chatting with Brian Peabody, the basketball coach up at Pima College, 35-1 this season. Let's point out also Coenje Gonzalez was the recipient of the Jack Sistriano Best Small Man Award. Does that go to a guard specifically? Because we know Coenje is not the tallest guy on the floor, so that sounds like the perfect award for Coenje.
It is, but they obviously didn't measure his heart, because he's got the biggest heart that I've ever coached. I mean, he may be small in stature, but he's got a huge heart, well-deserved, and, you know, he was so much fun to coach and be around the last 2 years, and I'm just really excited to see where his journey ends up, and he's, you know, getting recruited like crazy right now, and obviously well-deserved. He deserves to play at the highest level. So I'm really excited for Coenje and really pleased for all the things that he gave to the program the last 2 years. So very complimentary on that kid. He's a winner.
How are you helping him kind of through all this madness of recruiting, and at what point do you think he'll make a decision on all that?
Well, we had exit meetings today, and I'm going to brag because I have 6 sophomores on my team, and all 6 of them have full ride scholarships to the next level.
Oh, that's awesome.
That never happened. So, you know, Gabe Oldham, Max Marley, Coenje, obviously, Wes Ball, all have Division I offers. Coda Benson and Cooper Jones, Division II NA offers. So they're all going to get their education paid for, That's never happened since I've been at Pima, where every sophomore I had is getting a full ride to go on to play basketball at the next level. So that's the best thing about this whole deal.
Wow, that is, and give me you mentioned these guys kind of coached themselves. Give me an example of something that you thought, I've got to talk to them about this, and then maybe you said, well, maybe I don't, because they're talking to themselves about it.
Yeah, it'd be a huddle. It happened like 3 or 4 times during the national tournament, and I'm calling timeout. Hey, we need to do X, Y, and Z, and then I kind of just step away, and then Gabe would step up, Cohen Jay would step up, Wes would step up, and just say, hey, not only do we need to do that, we need to do this, and this. And everything they said was accurate, and they probably articulate it way better than I could. And so they're smarter, they talk better, and it was just fun to listen and take a back seat and watch these guys do that. I've never had a team do that. Maybe I didn't allow it. I don't know. Maybe I was stubborn back in my day. Maybe I'm getting too nice when I get older, but I let them coach their way through it. And everything they said was true. And so I just let them coach it, and where the chips fall, they fall. And I was really pleased with them and what they said and how they handled each other and came together as a group. I mean, that doesn't happen very often. Everybody's thinking about their own stats and all that kind of stuff. These guys just wanted to win. And you, like I said, you get a team like that every 10 years.
Yeah, it seemed like it's just the interaction. I remember one of the games I went to, just kind of watching, and it was after all the guys had gotten out of the game because you guys were so far ahead. But you could just see how engaged on the bench they were with each other, and you just don't necessarily always see that from a basketball team, and that spoke volumes to me about how connected these guys were with each other. So no surprise that you tell that type of story about how they could go out there and be able to police themselves and coach themselves through some of the ups and downs that you're going to find nightly on the court. You've got guys that are coming back next year. What was the emphasis of the message to them in these exit meetings today?
It's just an extension of what they learned this year from Gabe and Wes and Cohen. Just follow their lead. Don't do anything different. Come back with the same work ethic, the same determination, the same camaraderie, everything that just they learned this year. And I'm just telling you, it doesn't, I don't care what anybody says. I've never seen a leader like, Gabe. And if any of our guys can just resemble what he did this year, just as a leader, that's just gonna take us a long, long way again next year. And we'll be good again. Hopefully, we can scratch the surface of what we did this year. But we got a bunch of good guys that got to play, significant minutes, especially in the national tournament. Mason Hunt got to play. He's a D1 guy. Caleb, played a bunch. He's got a chance to play college basketball. We had a couple red shirts that were really good. So we got a chance to be good again, and I'm excited. And, we got back to work. We got home late on Sunday, and I was in the office on Monday and doing exit meetings and getting ready for next year.
Yep, never stops. There's always another season abroad, more players to go see, and so where's the first recruiting trip to? You want to tell us where you're going first?
Yeah, we're gonna do a bunch of stuff in Arizona, Tucson, obviously, and then go up to Phoenix. And we've got a bunch of guys coming down. We've already signed 4 guys for next year. We got on kids early, and so we've already got 4 commitments for next year. And then the portal hit on Monday, and we're messing with the portal because there's so many kids in the portal that they're not all going to end up at a D1 school. I don't care what they think. And so there's going to be some leftover kids that we'll jump on that are good players that just don't have a home to go to. And so we'll start reaching out to those kids. And I've been doing this a long time, so I've reached out to all my contacts and trying to get names and numbers of kids that may fall through the cracks in the portal and see if they want to come down for visits. So we got visits scheduled already for this coming weekend and the following weekend. And then I'm doing a national tryout in the first weekend of May. We'll have 50 to 100 kids at our tryout. The good thing about when you have a year like that, you get a lot of recognition and a lot of people want to be a part of it. So we get, 100 emails and calls, every week. And we're just, we're turning over every stone and trying to see what's underneath it and try to get back to the national tournament.
Real quick, Brian. So how are you identifying? You have a system for identifying guys that are at D1s that are in the transfer portal that you think might not be able to get that next opportunity? How are you identifying quickly? Because, I mean, I've heard that's something. I mean, we've already seen the kid from ASU go into the portal, and the next day he signs with St. John's. So you have to get on this quickly. How have you systemized that for how it works for you guys?
Well, two things. I mean, we're not going to get a kid like that. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be the leftovers, to be honest with you. You know, the kids that think they're going to get, you know, an opportunity to go, and they don't get an opportunity. They're out of luck, and so they want to go and try to get re-recruited. And junior college is a great place to get re-recruited. Just like I told you, all 6 of my guys are getting scholarship offers, 4 of them to Division I. So it's a good stepping stone to get to go junior college if you go to the right junior college that gets exposure like we do. And then Pima College can only recruit 13 states. So we've already identified the states that we can recruit, and we take those kids out of that of those 13 states, and then we start calling their coaches, and I'm talking about high school coaches and club coaches, and just asking about the kid and just putting Pima in their mind and say, hey, if things don't work out at a Division I school, this is always an option. And if they say yes, we'd like to explore that, then we'll bring them down on a visit and see if they're a Peabody kid.
There you go. Coach, congratulations again on a great season, 35-1, and we'll look forward to what's next.
I appreciate it, David. Thanks for all the exposure. Appreciate it a lot. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Brian Peabody, longtime head coach at Pima College. Much more coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll head back out to Newark, hear from some more of your Arizona Wildcats. The voice of the Duke Blue Devils is going to join us top of the hour. Right after this, we'll talk some Duke basketball, get you up to date on all of that. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and weather together. 22nd Street east of I-10, serious collision occurred there. 22nd Street east of I-10, 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. I'm going to be expecting some really heavy travel restrictions through the afternoon. Other collisions at Stone Avenue and 6th Street, Alvernon and Valencia. Valencia and Alvernon's also clearing, some slowing westbound side of I-10 approaching and passing Alvernon. For your weather, 59, the low 88, sunny tomorrow, 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Hear that? It's Springfest savings calling your name at Lowe's. Get a free Select Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a Select Ego trimmer, blower, or mower. Lowe's, they help, you save. Valid through 4/2, selection varies by location while supplies last.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes.
All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
One day, while motoring around free and easy and listening to his favorite radio station, Bob heard all about it. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier's one low price included valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. This was music to Bob's ears, as he knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. Such a shame that not every tire dealer advertises total tire prices, he thought. But with this knowledge, I can do better. As synchronicity and predictable cliches would have it, yes, you guessed it. At that moment, Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 convenient locations. With no hesitation and great acceleration, Bob claimed his new set of quite affordable steel-belted radials, installed for one low price at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Thingies included.
Do better like Bob at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the locals' choice for affordable tires and quality auto repair. Jack Furrier's, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hi, Alex Medina, owner of Oral Ford. I was just saying to my ad agency the other day, if I could just get people to go to my website, they'd see the transparency. They'd see I don't have dealer add-ons, that my advertised discounts are on all my vehicles, not just a select few. I said to him, if I could just get people to go to oralford.com, they'd see the rebates are crystal clear and you save thousands with 2% lower taxes. It's all right there. My website is oralford.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
Smart solutions to eliminate bugs, bees, and weeds this spring.
Science nerds, choose Essential.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. What does it take to work for Arizona Athletics?
Whenever we hire anyone, we talk about high, low, high. High character, low ego, high outcome and energy.
We are your home for U of A sports. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
This is just something I dreamed about ever since I was a little kid. These are the moments that I imagined myself being when I was in the driveway, things like that. So just a surreal feeling to, be here in these moments and have these opportunities. I just feel really blessed.
That was Cooper Flagg earlier today in Newark, New Jersey, speaking at the Duke Players Press Conference. Blue Devils, Arizona Wildcats, Part 2 this season, Part 3 in the NCAA tournament on Thursday night. Let's get you updated up on your Duke Blue Devils. Pleased to be joined by the play-by-play man for the Duke Blue Devils. David Shoemate joins us. And David, if you heard what he just said right there, I don't think there was any question that anybody had when this young man went down with that injury a few weeks ago that he was not going to be playing in this tournament. If you wait all your life to play in this, unless your leg absolutely falls off, you're going to be showing up to play in these games.
No, and obviously in Charlotte, feels like a lifetime ago. Duke fans' hearts skipped a beat, no question, with the back-to-back injuries to Malik Brown and then obviously to Cooper going down with an ankle injury. But it was great to see him back last week. And really, if you didn't know he wasn't hurt, you wouldn't have noticed it. Just watching the games, he was full range out there doing everything like he normally does. And obviously, he is a huge piece of the puzzle if Duke is going to have a chance to go on and win a national title.
All right, so the big questions, obviously coming back to these two teams having played in November, how is this Duke team different than what we saw here back when you guys came to Tucson and knocked off the Wildcats?
I think it's a very different team in a lot of respects, and I'm sure you guys know Arizona is a very different team too. I mean, from a pure personnel standpoint, Sion James wasn't starting back then. He's now starting and largely running the point. Patrick Gungbo did not play in that game. Isaiah Evans didn't play in that game. And those are two really important pieces. So for the Blue Devils, Isaiah Evans has started a couple of games since as different guys were dealing with injuries. And Patrick Gungba, to me, has really been one of the revelations of the postseason for John Shire's group, and particularly what he's done on the defensive end. Scoring and rebounding for sure, but Gungba now is up to 17 or make it 16 blocks on the season, and like half of those have come in the ACC tournament here in the postseason. So I know the overall number isn't crazy, but the recent productivity is awfully impressive, and he had 2 more in the game over the weekend against Baylor, so he gives them a piece inside, obviously, with Malik Brown the last couple of games being out. It's a significant thing to give Malawach a break, but also to give a different look when he's out on the floor. So it's a very different looking team, and I also think it's a much better offensive team than Duke played with out in Arizona. John Shire actually talked about today that it was a very slow-paced game in Tucson, 69-55, the final score. Both teams are playing much faster now. The Blue Devils' offensive numbers have really jumped up over the course of the last month and a half or so, so much so that they're one of the best scoring teams, in the nation right now. And all their offensive numbers in some respects have exceeded their defensive numbers, which is pretty impressive considering what they've done defensively. So it's a very different looking team, to answer your question.
We're chatting with David Shoemate. He is the play-by-play man for the Duke Blue Devils, Wildcats, and Duke in the Sweet 16. We obviously all knew about Cooper Flagg, and we had talked about it with you before last year's game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. But obviously, you guys had a pretty good freshman in big man Con Knipple who came in here, and probably I think a lot of people kind of knew the name when you guys played here, but really weren't sure of what this young man was about. But boy, has he been, I guess, can you say he's been almost as good, maybe a slither down from what you've gotten from Cooper Flagg? Because Con's been a pretty darn good addition to this team as well.
Well, I mean, I think the best thing that speaks to that is when Cooper was out in the ACC tournament, Con Knipple was the tournament MVP when the Blue Devils won that. I mean, I think that speaks to the importance of him. Cooper's in his own category. I think everybody kind of knows that in terms of being a generational talent, but I think Con Knipple is certainly capable of being a lottery pick in the draft this year, as is Kaman Malawach. And Knipple gives you so many different things when he's on the floor. Obviously, the shooting is evident. He's nearly a 40% three-point shooter, and in that first meeting, he had 3 of those, but he also gives you toughness on the boards. I know he had 7 rebounds in the first meeting. He's not afraid to mix it up inside. He's got versatility to his game. At 6'7", he's not afraid to drive, has good feel around the rim, and able to use hesitation moves to draw fouls, but also to create the space, to create an angle to get a shot up. He played football growing up. He's not afraid to get on the floor, and at 6'7", 217, he is a big body, even though he's listed as a guard or a perimeter player. He's not afraid to mix it up inside, and he is every bit as important to what Duke does to Cooper Flagg. And there's a couple different guys that I put in that bucket, and maybe this is where you were headed, but I do think that's one of the strengths of this Duke team compared to John Shire's first couple of teams is the depth and their ability to withstand, whether it be injuries or foul trouble or things like that. They just have a lot of different pieces they can throw out there, but Knipple is as important as anybody.
When you look at point guard Tyrese Proctor, I would imagine he's kind of the glue that holds this thing together, the veteran guy running this team. What's kind of been special about his role in bringing on these younger players?
He's just a really good leader. It's a team that doesn't formally have any captains. Obviously, Cooper is a leader of what he's on the floor, and Tyrese is a vocal presence. He's a guy who's been through it a little bit, right? This is his 3rd season. He reclassified to come in early, coming over from Australia, so he identifies with some of these guys, including Cooper, that have reclassified, are going through in terms of playing college basketball in the year that should have been their senior year of high school. But to me, it goes beyond the leadership. He is an elite perimeter defender, probably doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for what he does defensively. And here of late, in the in-state tournament, but also the championship game of the ACC tournament, he has been lights out from 3. I mean, he's had 6 or more threes in each of those games and was just off the charts against Baylor on Sunday afternoon when he was 7 of 8 from 3 and 9 of 10 from the field. So obviously when he can shoot and score like that, it's another guy that can space the floor. And that's one of the things, I mean, you saw in the matchup in Tucson, and teams have really struggled with that, of like, obviously when you have a guy like Cooper Flagg, people want to double Cooper Flagg, but with the spacing and the shooting and obviously the length of Malawach inside, you can't really do that against this Duke team that's allowed Cooper to operate in space as well.
We're joined by David Schumate. He is the play-by-play man for the Duke Blue Devils, Wildcats, and Duke in the Sweet 16. Third time these two teams have met in the postseason. Each team has one win. ACC is where the Duke Blue Devils have been forever. Wildcats in their first season in the Big 12. David, would you? There's obviously been a lot of talk about the strength of the ACC this season. Would you agree, disagree that with this narrative that the ACC was not as strong as it's been in the past?
Yeah, no, in past years, I definitely would have pushed back on that, but I think this year you can't argue with the numbers that are staring in front of your face. I mean, it wasn't a great year for the ACC in non-conference play, and unfortunately for the league as a whole in the tournament, it hasn't gone particularly well, but I think the one thing that's consistent within that is Duke has been an elite team all year long, and I think that has borne itself out here in the in-state tournament. We'll see what happens tomorrow night against a really good Arizona team. But no, I think it's a fair criticism to say this wasn't the best year for the ACC. I don't think I'm breaking news in that respect. And I've been asked at times of like, how do you evaluate this Duke team in terms of how they measure up against, people say you're playing a lighter schedule. How do things look? You point to the win at Arizona. You point to a win at home against Auburn, and then in February, obviously a decisive win against Illinois, a good Illinois team at Madison Square Garden. So while the league as a whole is down, I think obviously this is one of, if not best, teams John Shire's had as his tenure as head coach. And if you look at the advanced analytics in terms of KenPom, you got to go back to the 98-99 team for Duke to find a team that even compares in terms of efficiency. That's not just with Duke. That's like all time in terms of KenPom with those numbers since he started doing them, in the mid-90s. So historically, this is a really good Duke team, albeit in an ACC that was obviously down this year.
Yeah, you mentioned that Illinois game. I remember seeing that on the schedule. How did that game kind of pop into the middle of conference like that?
Yeah, no, it's a tradition at Duke to play a game up at Madison Square Garden. Obviously, the fan base, there's a lot of fans in this part of the country, not far away over here in Newark as well. So, it's a tradition that Mike Krzyzewski really started. Obviously, his days back in Army and playing at MSG. And he liked to bring the team back up to the Northeast and start tradition. A lot of times it was St. John's and other teams. A lot of times it's done around the holidays, but I think this year there was scheduling quirk didn't work out. So they said, you know what, let's take a shot at doing something late in conference play. They've done it before, not recently, but St. John's, they've done it a couple of different times and slotted it in, kind of a break from conference play. You get to see a different style of play. Obviously, Duke played well and won the game, but I do think it's something they're going to look at potentially doing moving forward just as a change of pace to break the monotony of the league schedule. And with these huge leagues and 20 league games, versus back in the day when it's 16, 18, what have you, I do think it's a good thing just to get a different look when it can become somewhat rote when you get into league play and you're playing ACC teams over and over again.
David Schumate joining us. He is the play-by-play man for the Duke Blue Devils. Okay, so David, the way that this team, this Duke team is playing right now, what do you think it takes for Arizona to beat them?
Oh, Arizona is plenty capable. I mean, to me, the interesting thing will be with this game as I study these two teams, and rightfully so. There's a lot of talk about the offense, and both teams can score in the 80s at will, and can really put the ball in the basket. But I think it's two really good defensive teams. And I think it's going to be whoever has a better defensive night tomorrow night is probably going to have the best chance of moving on to the Elite Eight. So this is a Duke team that's been playing really well on the defensive end. But, when you look at teams that have had success against them, Kansas shot the ball well. Kentucky had a big second half. And Auburn obviously got off to a really good start before the Blue Devils came back and won that game. Clemson shot the ball unbelievably from two. So I do think it'll be interesting to see which defensive side has a better night tomorrow night, whether that be Duke or Arizona. But obviously there's elite individual scores all over the floor. We can talk about the Duke guys, but, at Duke, obviously, we're familiar with Caleb Love and what he's capable of. And you can look at Jaden Bradley and on down the line. There's plenty of pieces for Arizona that can go off on any given night. So to me, everyone's talking about points. I wouldn't be surprised if this was maybe a little bit lower scoring game than people expected.
Yeah, you tired of seeing Caleb Love?
I mean, you play who's in front of you, right? I mean, it's funny how they put these matchups together, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
Right.
things tend to work themselves out. I mean, Jeremy Roach last week, obviously a former Duke player, was on the Baylor team, so you play that, and then Arizona, and it goes beyond Caleb Love, right? And the connection, obviously, to when he was at North Carolina, obviously, John Shire and Tommy Lloyd have known each other over the years, and Coach Shire was talking about earlier today when he was being recruited about where he's going to go to college. Arizona was one of those 3 teams he was looking at, along with Illinois and Duke. So you're going to find a thread that's in common these days. It feels like any which way you turn, and with the transfer portal and how things are changing right now, I feel like it's going to become more and more common over the next few years.
Well, it should be a fun one for sure. It always is when you've got two programs who have been ultra successful at this game of college basketball. David, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Have a great call.
No, appreciate it. Looking forward to tomorrow night.
David Shumate is the play-by-play man for the Duke Blue Devils. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We've got much more coming up from Newark, New Jersey. That is where David is, obviously, right now. Our guy Mark Ernay is in Newark, or actually he might be back over to the New York City side. I think that's where he lives, but we will check in with him coming up straight ahead as well in the 5 o'clock hour, and your calls and text to 520-848-1290. Cricket right now is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. Collisions reported Mission and Drexel and Mission, River and Campbell with some slowing at that intersection of Campbell and River Road, Alvernon and Valencia, Stone Avenue and 6th Street. Also, serious collision occurred 22nd Street east of I-10, 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. Going to be heavy restrictions through the afternoon. And 59 the overnight low, 88 sunny skies tomorrow, and 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Hear that? It's SpringFest savings calling your name at Lowe's. Get a free Select Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a Select Ego trimmer, blower, or mower. Lowe's, they help, you save. Valid through 4/2. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
One day while motoring around free and easy and listening to his favorite radio station, Bob heard all about it. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier's one low price included valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. This was music to Bob's ears, as he knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. Such a shame that not every tire dealer advertises total tire prices, he thought. But with this knowledge, I can do better. As synchronicity and predictable cliches would have it, yes, you guessed it. At that moment, Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 convenient locations. With no hesitation and great acceleration, Bob claimed his new set of quite affordable steel-belted radials, installed for one low price at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Thingies included.
Do better like Bob at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the locals' choice for affordable tires and quality auto repair. Jack Furrier's, since 1960, here to get you there.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
TFCU Gives supports local organizations who help those in need. We take pride in giving back and believe that we are stronger when we all pitch in to help one another. For over 50 years, The Haven has provided women with a safe, inclusive place for recovery with respect, without shame or judgment. TFCU invites you to join us in partnering with The Haven for the health and respect of all women throughout our community. Visit thehaventucson.org to learn more.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Honey, our yard looks like a jungle. It's full of weeds, and the neighbors are complaining, you know.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using just doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
You know, it's not just the weeds. I'm also seeing ants, and the spider, a scorpion. I saw a scorpion, and I think there's a pack rat living in the garage.
I get it.
It's scary.
I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today and get rid of them all.
You're the best, honey.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other. Sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last, no.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
I'm Tom Pelissero with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Two of the biggest free agents officially have new teams. 10-time Pro Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson will now be under center for the New York Giants, agreeing to terms on a one-year deal worth $10.5 million. It could be worth up to $21 million with incentives. Wilson joins Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito in their quarterback room, and the Giants still could add another quarterback with the number 3 overall pick. At age 36, Wilson enters his 14th season and now is on his 4th team in the past 5 years. Meanwhile, Stephon Diggs, the 31-year-old wide receiver, will be playing in Foxborough with the Patriots next season. He gets a 3-year deal worth $69 million. After a successful visit to New England, including a physical, he will be a top target for Drake May. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is that number to get in on the program. It'll be a busy weekend of sports here on the Arizona Wildcats campus coming up. Baseball home this weekend. Softball, I believe, is on the road, however. But tennis teams will be here, including the women, who have a pretty big matchup coming up against those rival ladies from the north, the Arizona State Sun Devils, on Saturday at noon. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of your Arizona women's tennis team, Ryan Stotlin, joins us. And Ryan, you got a string of matches here against ranked teams going back to last weekend, Tulsa, Oklahoma State, this week Arizona State, then Baylor and TCU will be coming to town ranked. And first of all, let me ask you this question, Ryan, because I don't know that I've ever had anybody really explain to me in terms of tennis and the rankings why it's ranked all the way up to like into the 70s. How would you easily explain that to somebody that doesn't understand the tennis rankings?
Well, good question. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. And then to explain the rankings is they actually go all the way up to every team. They rank every team, but they stop at 75 when they publish them to the public. So I think it's just a way to kind of see where your team's at. And I'm not 100% sure because we don't do RPIs. We've had an algorithm. So it's a much different way to rank people and teams, so even individuals rank that way. So it's more about getting a certain amount of wins and then divided by your number of losses. So it's a much different ranking system.
So then, in other words, every single one of your matches remaining is against a ranked opponent. That's not an easy schedule to deal with, I would think, over the course of, I think you guys have like 5 matches left before Big 12 conference play.
Yes, and that's awesome. We're super excited for the challenge, and we know we're ready. So for us, we've proven ourselves this entire semester, and we're excited for the challenge ahead. They're great teams, but so are we.
All right, so you guys have got the Sun Devils coming up this weekend. But first of all, let's talk about this move. You know, we've kind of been talking to a lot of the coaches about how this move is played within their programs, this new Big 12. How has this been for your program, being away from those traditional West Coast schools that you got so used to playing and now playing different schools from Texas and other parts of the Plains?
It's just interesting because everything's new to us. So we just got back from Manhattan, Kansas, and Stillwater, Oklahoma. So they're just places we're not familiar with. It's a little different conditions. We actually played in a really, really windy environment, and the fans are much different in these places as well. So we're getting used to it. It's just a different way of everything. Even the times of the matches are sometimes evenings, which is we're learning. We're learning all about it, and this is our first couple of road trips we've had, and it's been an interesting time just to see the changes and just the different uniforms across from us is very interesting because usually we've had a lot of experience against the teams for 4 years, so we know them in and out. These are brand new teams that we have never seen before, so we're starting from scratch a little in the notes category.
And I noticed last week you guys kind of threw a non-conference match in between 2 conference matches. Is that just because you need a certain number of total matches for the season?
Yeah, so once again, it goes back to that algorithm, and we kind of play with this algorithm, what teams we need and how many matches we need to get into the NCAA tournament. So I think it really helped us moving forward. So that's why we decided to play that one. We know it was a long weekend, but our team handled it really well, and we were really excited to beat a very good Tulsa team on the road.
This is a little bit of a younger team, I think, than you've had recently. We had a chance to hear from a couple of the young ladies after the last home weekend, Midori Castile-Meza, as well as her doubles partner, Balin Nevenhoven, as well. What of those 2 seniors, how have they kind of led your group this year?
They've come a long way. I think they've had some really passionate speeches about what it means for them and how they came into the program when we were just developing it, and the things that we've accomplished each year, just going over the stepping stones that we've made. It's great. And they just show the example of basically where we were and how we couldn't compete against these teams that were beaten rather handily now. And so I think just their experience, they've been sharing that with the team and how much it means to be an Arizona Wildcat, to wear that A on their uniforms. I think that's the biggest thing is they're so proud to be here and they're so proud of what we've accomplished that they want to keep it going.
And I think just what I remember the 2 of them saying in terms of how they play doubles with each other, I think Midori says she generally plays back and Balin plays up because Balin is better around the net. Kind of walk us through why each one is better in those particular positions.
Yeah, so we call Balin our executioner, and then Midori is our setup person. So she's supposed to make we call her B, Balin, look really, really good at the net. And so they work really well in tandem because they've also had years of experience playing together for 4 years now. So they know exactly the positions. We have shifts in tennis where they have to cover the certain position. It's kind of like chess. So they move over and they have to shift, and they do such a good job. They're kind of all one unit. So we call it a rope. And so you can't break the rope in doubles. And so they move together on that rope and it never gets snapped. And that's why they've had so much success for 4 years together. And they know exactly what the other is going to do. So just the chemistry, it works really, really well.
Ryan Stoutland joining us, the head coach of the Arizona women's tennis team. They've got a huge match coming up this weekend, Saturday at noon against the rival Arizona State Sun Devils. And you've got Josie Usuro, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Usuro.
Usuro is your primary number one player. Tell us a little bit about her and how she's been able to kind of ascend to that role.
Yeah, so she is a transfer from Cal State Fullerton, not highly recruited, actually. So she only had a couple offers, and then we weren't exactly sure how good she was going to be. But once she got here, she was so professional and wants to become a professional athlete. And we knew her talent when we saw it, but we didn't know how good she could be. And she's already proven herself to be a highly ranked, one of the best players in the country. She's beaten two of the best players in the NCAAs already. So her growth has been exceptional, but her as a teammate and a leader, making sure the team is going in the right direction has been awesome. And just her professionalism really rubs off in the way she handles herself pre and post match. So she's just been a huge asset for us, and she's only a sophomore. So her level is just going to rise, and you're going to see one player that has a chance to make the professional ranks.
And Tanvi Narendran putting up some really nice numbers in that number 4 hole for you.
Oh yeah, Tommy actually I think is 16-3 in the spring, and her story is incredible. Just coming from Tucson, not knowing that she was going to even play tennis until about her junior year, and she was actually in our tennis academy and didn't take it very serious, was not even close to being a Division I athlete. And then during COVID, actually, she decided that she'd put forth some effort into tennis. And I mean, when she puts forth effort, she's going to go all in, and she's gotten incredibly good. And just her record speaks for itself, because we sit here and I remember the Tanvi that was in the junior tennis that really wasn't going to play D1 to where she is now in almost a guaranteed lock as one of the strongest positions in the entire country is an amazing turnaround. And it's really cool to see somebody local that can develop into that, because most people didn't give her a chance at all, and she came on and walked on for our team and decided she could do it, and she's proven herself amongst the best, which is an amazing accomplishment, especially because she does so well, and so does the entire team in the classroom. Our GPA and just the way, Tommy's graduating in 3 years with neuroscience, a minor in pre-law and Spanish, and so she's going to finish her master's before she leaves here her 4th year, which is an incredible feat just among the accolades she has in the tennis world.
Yeah, out of University High School here in Tucson. So this academy that you guys, is this a summer thing that you guys run?
No, it's our assistants run something just after school here for a couple hours. Just we like to give back to the community, and we have an academy here that tries to get the players as elite as possible. So we try to make it affordable, and we run something out just on our tennis courts every weekday.
That's awesome. And so do the girls kind of participate in that as well? In terms of instruction?
Just the coaches. Just the men's coaches and the women's coaches.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we just usually do it, but we've developed Tanvi, one of our top players from that academy. So it's a pretty cool thing to see him grow up all the way from high school to graduating college. It's a pretty incredible experience.
Is that something that a lot of schools are doing?
They all have an academy. It doesn't mean they're developing their players quite to that level, because most of the players that you see travel the world and play what is called ITFs. So they go play literally homeschooled, and they usually don't go to high school.
Yeah.
So Tavi's is a rare exception there.
Outstanding. Ryan Stoutland joining us. Ryan, what do you, when you talk about this ASU team that's coming in here, what do you see on that side, and what's it going to take to knock off the Sun Devils?
They're very good competitors. They never give up. So it's something that we as well have proven is we're a fighting team. So it's basically going to come down to a couple points here or there and who can execute. So execution is the key. We know we are going to have a good game plan. We know they're going to have a game plan. We've played each other for years, and we have this rivalry, and it's always very intense. Last year, it came down to the last match. It was very tight. We were up 4-3 in the third set, and they just played a couple better games at the end, so a couple points didn't go our way. So we're right there, and we know it's going to come down to execution under pressure, and we're getting ready for it. And I know they are too, but it'll be a battle, and we're excited. And if we get the the house rocking out here at Robeson, we're gonna do really well. And I know we play better with fans, so we're really asking for our fan base to come out and support us.
And what did it mean for you to obviously you guys have been so close in a number of years of getting to the NCAA tournament, and I remember a couple of years back we were at your watch party, and it just didn't fall the way that you guys wanted it to. But to get back to the NCAA tournament last year for this program, what did it mean for you to be able to take that step?
Oh, it meant everything. It just showed us that we're one of the programs moving in the right direction over and over. It's really cool to see the growth every year. We always want to make the tournament. As a coach, that's always been my ultimate goal, to be in it every year, to try to give ourselves a chance to win a national championship. But to actually get there is a huge accomplishment, where we came from with 0 wins in the conference, and then just seeing the growth every year. Honestly, just seeing our ranking rise, our players develop, and seeing where we're at even this year moving forward. We're at new heights again this year. So it just seems like we're propelling upward and upward and upward.
All right, so it is the Wildcats and the Sun Devils. It is coming up on Saturday at the Robson Tennis Center. Noon will be the first serve with the doubles. Get on out there and support your Arizona women's tennis team. Ryan, always appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Continued success, and we look forward to beating up on those Devils this weekend.
Thank you for having us. We do too. We'll see you all out on Saturday. Bear down.
Bear down indeed. Ryan Stotland, the head coach of your Arizona women's tennis team. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. More Arizona basketball. Before we get out of here this evening, we are inching closer and closer to the Sweet 16, Arizona and Duke. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. 22nd Street east of I-10, serious collision occurred there, 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. Expect a hard closure of the intersection probably for the rest of the afternoon. Other collisions, 22nd and Columbus, Mission and Drexel, Keno Parkway south of Broadway, River Road and Campbell, and also Alvernon and Valencia. 59 the overnight low, 88 sunny tomorrow, and 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
NBA veteran Jim Jackson takes you on the court.
You get a chance to dig into my 14-year career in the NBA and also get the input from the people that will be joining. Charles Barkley.
I'm excited to be on your podcast, man. It's an honor.
Spike Lee, entrepreneur, filmmaker, Academy Award winner.
Knicks fan.
So, now you see, I got you. But also how sports brings life, passion, music, all of this together.
The Jim Jackson Show, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
He's coming. Here he goes.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be, but thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials, the right service, the right product, the right price.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Zach Gelb with Sports Bet, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. The Patriots continue their offseason spending spree by giving a 3-year contract to Stephon Diggs worth $69 million with $26 million guaranteed. And even though Diggs is coming off a torn ACL, I think it's a risk worth taking. The Pats need more playmakers around Drake May, and Diggs could definitely be more of a positive than a negative to an offense. And worst case scenario, with the way the deal is structured, the Pats could get out of it after 2 years if Diggs doesn't hold up his end of the bargain. I'm Zach Gelb.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. tomorrow is going to be the best day of the calendar year so far. And you know why? Well, of course, because the Wildcats are playing the Duke Blue Devils in the Sweet 16, but that's not the only reason why. It is opening day in Major League Baseball.
Diamondback download.
Baseball talk. Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of injury with the baseball talk for the Diamondbacks to start this season. We'll start with Kevin Ginkel is going to be on the IL to begin the season. The Arizona Wildcat has some inflammation in his right shoulder, so he is headed to the DL or the IL or whatever they want to call it now. He's expected to be on the 15-day IL, but that's not the big news. The big news is, remember the beginning of spring training? Jordan Montgomery was kind of missing. We weren't sure what was going on. There was a finger issue. He had got, I guess, his last throwing session before spring training start. He kind of messed up his finger, so they held him out of the initial stages of spring training. This was a guy that they signed late last year and never really got right for the season, and there was hope that he would be able to come in here, have a full spring training. That didn't materialize, but then he came back and pitched. Was he going to make the rotation? Was the question that was being asked, and then that got completely torpedoed on Monday prior to the final two exhibition games at Chase Field against my Cleveland Guardians, when Jordan Montgomery showed up and said this.
Yeah, unfortunately, gonna have to go in and get elbow surgery next week.
What? Tommy John surgery?
Yeah.
What happened?
Just haven't been recovering very well. Kind of day after that last game, came back sore and took a day off like I normally do. Next day it was still a little achy. So we pushed my bullpen back. Felt decent the next day. I mean, kind of just through it. Do a pretty good bullpen, but something was wrong, and they told me we were just going to get some imaging on it to just. We thought it was just kind of like a joint thing. Would get a shot in there, clean it up, and I'd be good. And it just wasn't the case,
So there you go. Jordan Montgomery has got to have Tommy John surgery. He had TJ back in 2018, so this is the second time in 7 years he's going to have his left elbow operated on. So he is done for the season for your Arizona Diamondbacks. That's obviously disappointing to hear for him and for the club, because, again, if you could have really gotten something out of him this year, it was almost like signing a free agent pitcher this past offseason, but not going to be. The Diamondbacks made a trade for a really top-of-the-line pitcher in Corbin Burns this offseason, but Corbin Burns is not going to pitch in the opening series against the Chicago Cubs. This is an interesting situation. Apparently, Corbin Burns has this meticulous routine that he uses to get ready for games, and Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo did not decide on who his opening day starter was going to be until it was too late, apparently, for Corbin Burns to get ready to pitch the first weekend. So now he's not even going to pitch until the fifth game of the season. Torey Lovullo, what happened with this?
This was probably a technical error on my part. I'll take the responsibility for that. Corbin is a very routine-oriented player, and I've yet to understand that until recently. And he's got a process, and I respect that, and I blame myself for not getting to know him, how important the routine in the days, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and second by second. He is elite. in this space. And, it took me a little time to figure that out. So when we stepped into a space where we had to make an adjustment that he wasn't going to start opening day, we had to recalibrate and get him on the right routine. And I respect that 100%. And it's just the way it lands, and that's kind of what we're going to do and work it backwards. So he's going to throw in a backfield game on our day off here and then get start number 1 in New York.
It's same with me, DK. Like, if I don't have my 3 green jelly beans prior to the show, like if you ever don't hear my voice on the radio, it's because there's reasons behind that.
Look, I mean, Corbin Burns has been one of the best pitchers in baseball over the course of the last 4 seasons. 3 200-plus strikeout seasons, 181 last year. I don't look, and I'm going to give Torrey a pass on this because it's a new player, and maybe this wasn't articulated. It could be, although Corbin Burns said it was articulated. Maybe, again, Torrey, like he said, I didn't really quite understand maybe the details and nuances of this whole thing, that he needed this entire stretch of days to get ready to open the season. I mean, it all sounds kind of weird, but whatever. If that's Corbin's thing, that's Corbin's thing. I mean, I don't know that it really matters that much in the long run if this is going to be one of your best pitchers if he doesn't pitch until the 5th day versus the 2nd or the 3rd day, especially against the Cubs, who I don't know if they're going to be that good anyway. But more from Torrey on not understanding Corbin Burns' routine.
In this case, it was like a perfect storm. And while I was taking my time, which I thought I was being the most responsible thing, I was throwing the rhythm off as to the time that we had on the backside of it. So that's where I blame myself. But I wanted to be thorough, and I wanted to watch and observe before I made some very, very crucial decisions. So it was a perfect storm. Trust me. You talk about agonizing over the decision. Like, this is what was giving me double agony. So when I came in here, I was trying to wash it out as best I could, but I was really suffering through this whole process because I want to do what's right by the player and know the player enough to say this is where I am and we can make this decision together. So I gave you guys basically every bit of my thought right there. So you can take it however you want.
Okay, there you
Brian
go.
Kaplan's the pitching coach now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. I think that Skip's got a lot on his mind, right? I don't know that you put it all at his feet as far as integrating new players and their routines, but everybody knows pitchers are routine-based. Yeah.
But, I'm not going to, you can't, if I'm the manager and I'm making a decision on who my opening day guy is, I'm making that decision on my timeline. I'm not making it on some player's timeline who needs 3 extra days to get ready to pitch his first game of the season. I mean, the whole thing from the player side of it sounds a little bit crazy to me. So now I got to make my decision 3 days earlier than normal because I got to factor in your warm-up routine. I mean, I'm kind of with Torrey on this because, you gotta do what's best for your team. Zach Gallen obviously filters into that, and Corbin Burns. And so, if the decision is to go to Zach Gallen and Corbin can't be ready, well, then he doesn't pitch in the first series. He pitches in New York or wherever series number 2.
It will all work itself out. It's a long season. Long season.
It's just like I was talking to our guy Dave over on K-Hit. It's a long year. We're not going to get too crazy about what happens in week 1.
Diamondback download.
Yeah.
Baseball talk.
Baseball talk. I love it. Let's talk to Paul, who's up in Phoenix.
You know what? I love Torrey. Torrey's 100% right. And Torrey's doing this because Zach Gallen he's a free agent after this year. Mm-hmm. So are you gonna tell me that you're gonna Torrey, Zach, by the way, you're gonna be our second day pitcher and we're gonna try to sign you next year? No, not gonna happen. Mr. Burns, Corbin Burns, he can sit and do his thing, whatever. Torrey did the right thing. Torrey's too nice a guy. That's the problem. He's too nice a guy, it's all good. It's all good. And as for Montgomery, dead weight. Unfortunately, the D-backs have to eat that one, and they're going to eat that one for a while. But you know what? It's better because it kind of like turned the page. Let's go to the next page on that one. So it's all good. It's all good, and looking forward to that tomorrow. There's lots of stuff going on up here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You got the Suns playing tonight against the Celtics again. So that's going to be a good one here in Phoenix. And then you got tomorrow. You got the opening day for the D-backs, and then tomorrow I think there's a game going on around 6:40.
I think there's a game going on.
How you feeling,
going on
Paul?
now.
How you feeling?
Feeling good, Dolly. Feeling good, Dolly Llama. Really good.
Dalai Lama.
Thanks for the effort. Appreciate it.
That's. I think I got to start using that now.
Yeah.
We welcome the Dalai Lama.
Everybody, he's the Dalai Lama.
Paul gets nervous sometimes before games. That's all.
I get nervous. It's funny. I drive my family crazy, like someone else's new, because I listen to the radio. And now that the app is not on, I can't make the app catch up to the game or kind of get close. So I'm a good 50 seconds ahead on the radio versus the TV, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my daughter was over watching the game, and she's like, Dad, you can't do that. You can't watch the game like that. So I'm sitting there. I've got my earphones in, and I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. So I'm giving signals to my wife, because my wife said, no, you got to tell me. So I'm giving her signals like I give her the 3 fingers down, and it went in. It's like, okay, that's a 3. She's like, okay, good. So she goes, I want to know. I don't care what my daughter says. I don't care what her daughter says. You got to tell me. So it's kind of funny, the things we do around here just to kind of get ready for Wildcat basketball. But I tell you what, the audition continues for Mr. Carter Bryant, okay? And I even had a friend who's not a U of A fan at all. Kind of is a U of A fan, but got a friend. He goes, that Carter Bryant, he's a good-looking young man too. So he fits into the NBA persona if he were to get drafted this year. So all the more reason for him to come out tomorrow night. Carter, have a big game. It'd be nice to have him get about 12 points and about 7 rebounds, maybe about 3 or 4 assists, and just do some things and play good defense.
Forgot 3 blocks.
That's going to help.
3 blocks. We need 3 blocks. Yeah.
3 blocks too. That'd be good too. So and it's an audition, and somehow, some way, if we find a way to win, then we get to play again on Saturday. That'd be kind of fun. So it's nervous time. But correct me, you guys. Can you help me out here? This is Tommy's 4th year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So have we or have we not been to the Sweet 16? 3 of those 4 years with Tommy.
Yes. 3 out of 4, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to me, if you ask people, people say, oh no, the Wildcats, they're always out in the first round. Well, last time I checked, I think you just said we've been to the Sweet 16 3 out of the 4 years. That's pretty doggone good. Okay, so we have to. I'm kind of with you, David. That's kind of where we want to be. We want to get to this weekend, right?
Yeah.
We want to get here to this one. Now, if we jump over the top and get to the next one, to the Elite Eight, that's bonus. It's gravy, because this team was not expected to do this. And I'm not giving up on tomorrow's game, but this team, hey, you never know. Give us a chance.
I think Paul, the disappointment for, at least in terms of the Tommy years, is that they lost twice as a higher seed in this game.
Right.
They were 1 seed against Houston. They lost. They were 2 seed last year, and they lost.
Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, again, and as this continues to evolve, this whole NIL thing that we're in, as this evolves, it's only going to get tougher. You're going to see more of the 1 through 4 seeds are going to get through, because those teams are doing it. And I'm going to ask one final question. I'll just say bear down for tomorrow night, but one final question. What genius within the NCAA decided that opening the transfer portal before the season was over?
Don't get me started, Paul. Don't get me started.
To me, it's like, and I don't want to hear this, well, so kids can plan where they're going to be next year. They should be taking classes right now. Go to school.
Right.
Well, the worst is Scottie Pippen's kid is a freshman at Michigan, and he put his name in the second the portal came open, and they still have a game to play in the Sweet 16. Right?
Is that ridiculous?
Yeah.
See, it's ridiculous. And it's funny. My son-in-law is a huge LeBron James fan, and he told me, he goes, "Hey, can we get tickets down to Tucson next year to watch Bryce?" No, I'm not getting tickets. So everybody's tuning in to Wildcat basketball next year. It's going to be interesting.
LeBron James
how Bryce
is
done.
currently getting beat up by Benedict Mathurin. That game just started too.
Oh, I'll take a look at that one too. So, Guys, it's going to be fun. Good luck on your show. And I'm sorry you guys again drew the short straw having to work the late night tomorrow night again. Sorry about that.
Hey, we do what we do.
Jeez. I know you guys, and you do it really well. I appreciate all your time. Bear down, Tucson. Let's go. It's
all right.
time. Let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
Appreciate
okay, guys.
it, Paul.
Take care, guys.
Enjoy
Bear
the
down,
game.
Paul.
Enjoy the game. DK on the Sports Tip. Much more coming up for you. 1 hour to go, 5 to 6. Give us your thoughts. Arizona basketball, 520-848-1290. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Northbound I-19 approaching Valencia, brush fire. Fire crews on scene. Northbound I-19 approaching Valencia, stay to the right. 22nd Street east of I-10, serious collision occurred there. And 22nd Street east of I-10 at 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. Hard closure for the intersection. Other collisions clearing River Road and Campbell and also 22nd Street and Columbus. 59 the overnight low, 88 sunny tomorrow, and 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
One day, while motoring around free and easy and listening to his favorite radio station, Bob heard all about it. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, advertising affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier's one low price included valve stems and the other critical tire thingies that cost additional elsewhere, but not at Jack Furrier's. This was music to Bob's ears, as he knows to never underestimate the importance of thingies. Such a shame that not every tire dealer advertises total tire prices, he thought. But with this knowledge, I can do better. As synchronicity and predictable cliches would have it, yes, you guessed it. At that moment, Bob spotted one of Jack Furrier's 14 convenient locations. With no hesitation and great acceleration, Bob claimed his new set of quite affordable steel-belted radials, installed for one low price at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Thingies included.
Do better like Bob at Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, the locals' choice for affordable tires and quality auto repair. Jack Furrier's, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/news. That's ethos.com/news.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace,
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station, your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Here's Rob Refsnyder, right-handed hitter. He drives one high and deep, and the left field, adios in Mexico. Are you kidding me? An absolute blast for Refsnyder over everything, including the back-end sweeps in left. It's 3-0 Refsnyder. Just drilled one way out of here to left.
Happy birthday, Rob Refsnyder, Arizona national champion, 2012. He is 34 years old today, born in Seoul, South Korea. How old are you? This is going to be Rob Refsnyder's 10th season in the big leagues. That's how old you are. He'll be with the Boston Red Sox. Once again, he's been with the Boston Red Sox. Now this will be his 4th season playing in Boston with the Red Sox. He still has not played over 100 games in any one season of his career. He got close last year. He played in 93 games. So we'll see if maybe Rob can get above 100 games this season. He's playing in his 10th MLB season, meaning that he first got called up. His first games played were in the 2015 season. He's played in every season except for the 2019 season. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the year he went to spring training with the Diamondbacks. But he didn't make the Diamondbacks out of spring training that year, and he ended up playing the entirety of that season in the minor leagues.
So I have a very important question for you, Mr. Baseball person guy.
Mr. Baseball.
If a game or two is called a cup of coffee, 10 years, is that like a keg of beer? Or like, there's got to be some kind of terminology for that, right?
There should be. Yeah. I don't know if that gets him in any type of U of A, like, the basketball, 10 seasons gets you in the Ring of Honor.
Sure.
I don't know if they have that same thing for baseball, but it's interesting because he's played in 10 seasons, but he actually only they have what in Major League Baseball, they have what's called service time. So this is like basically goes towards like your pension and other things that have to do with contractual. He's actually only got 6 years of service time because, again, he's never played more than 100 games in any one season. So 10 seasons he's played in. This will be season number 10 that 11 he's played in. But only 6 years of service time for Rob Refsnyder, who's on the second year of a 2-year deal that pays him right about $2 million a year to play for the Boston Red Sox. So we'll have to look up his totals as it relates to players from the University of Arizona. But
I'm on it.
Yeah, I think he's getting up there in terms of games. Let's see. Games. I'm looking at games. He has played in actually only 471 games. So he's 18th currently all-time in games played for former Arizona Wildcats. Behind, of course, at the top of that list is one Kenny Lofton, who played in over 2,000 games in his career. JT Snow on that list. Tony Clark up there. Although Tony was on the basketball side as well.
Yes.
For a number of years.
Yes, he was.
Ron Hasse, Tucson High, and Trevor Hoffman, of course, the Hall of Famer, has also played over 1,000 games at the University of Arizona. All right, it's that time you've been waiting for. I know, with bated breath. Time now for your BetMGM Network Play of the Day. And this BetMGM Top Play is brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
What up, dudes and dudettes? It is Rob Brown here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. The Diamondbacks had a rough 2024, but they are ready to bounce back in 25. Arizona's rotation ranked 6th best in MLB by Fangraphs, but they added Cy Young winner Corbin Burns to strengthen the bullpen. And after winning 89 games last year, I'm betting on them to top 86 because 89 is more than 86, and they got better. It's Rob Brown. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
It's Truck Month at Oro Ford, and the savings are huge. Get $11,000 off MSRP on new 24 Ford F-150s. Or take $13,000 off MSRP on a new 25 Ford Expedition. Want adventure? Drive home a new 24 Ford Bronco with $6,000 off MSRP. And here's the best part. Oro Ford is an easy drive from anywhere in Tucson, and you'll pay 2% less in taxes. Only at Oro Ford. Oro Ford, where Tucson saves on trucks. Restrictions may apply. See Oro Ford for details.
All right, Rob Brown, that's a new voice from BetMGM Network I've never heard. But first of all, he said Corbin Burns added to bolster the bullpen. The rotation, the starting rotation. He'll pitch on the 5th day. We'll hear from Corbin on Friday. And in his own words about this whole meticulous get-ready routine that he has. But 89 games, that's not a lot. I mean, considering this team won a lot more than 80. I thought they won like close to 98 games last year. And he only has them at 89 games, so that can't be right. But look, we've been losing money with them lately, so I can't imagine I think the new guy might have had that one incorrect. We'll have to go back and check on that one again. We have an NBA play tonight as well. Nuggets minus 10.5 over the Bucks tonight at minus 107. Which means you can get $12.13 back off your $12.
I don't think Giannis is playing in that one.
Yeah,
so.
no, Lillard is not playing. Dame is out.
Well, Lillard's out with the blood clot. That came out yesterday.
Oh.
He's indefinitely sat down. He has a very serious health issue. I had to explain to Paige last night the story of Hank Gathers because whenever anybody hears about any kind of issue like that with a basketball player, so he's been shut down, but I heard Giannis wasn't playing in that game either.
Ooh, so maybe that's why the line jumped from 5.5 to 10.5.
Yeah,
because I think they said 5.5 this morning on BetMGM, and when I went to look at it, it was 10.5.
Yeah, Giannis won't play versus Nuggets due to foot sprain.
There you go. So that's why it is now 10.5. So last night they gave us the Warriors minus 6. That didn't quite end up anywhere close to that. The Heat blew Golden State out of the building on Jimmy Butler's return to town last night.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Steph's fall last week, but he's been out. He's still out. They did MRI scan, and it's just a contusion, so there's nothing broken. He should be back. But, yeah, they went back down there with Jimmy Buckets, and the Heat had something for him.
Yeah, they did. 112 to 86. Bam Adebayo had 27 points and 8 rebounds in that game. So that ends this current 82-bet season that we were playing, and we finished 41-41 because we were actually, I think we were 40-33, and it didn't end well because we lost a lot on the college games, and we lost last night on the Warriors. So we ended up losing money, $23.61. We ended up losing over that 82-bet stretch. We got as high as $70.82. We were as low as $69.95. And so we ended up losing just under $24. And we'll start. So our next bet season with baseball starting, our next bet season we'll do 162 bets. So that'll start with tonight's game, the Nuggets minus 10.5 over the Bucks. I've also got some props I'll give you for baseball, and we'll put those up on our social media accounts ahead of tomorrow's first pitch in case you want to get on any props. Dodgers to win the World Series, Rays to win over 80.5 games, and we'll give you an interesting prop on the American League Rookie of the Year, a name that you probably have not heard of yet because he will not start the season on anyone's opening day roster. He's going to start the year in AAA, but expected to be in the big leagues in very short order. We'll tell you about that maybe coming up as well before the season starts tomorrow. That is your BetMGM Network top plays, brought to you locally by Oro Ford, 3950 Highway 77 in Oracle. I've never been to Oracle. Have you been to Oracle Cricket?
Is that near where Biosphere is? I've been probably through Oracle.
I think it is kind of in that area there. I know it's on the way. It's definitely on the way up that way.
Yeah, so I've been through there.
Yeah.
We went there a lot as kids.
The Biosphere?
No, Oracle.
Oh, okay.
It was a big artist's town. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Andy Rush. He was the head of art at the University of Arizona, and he and a bunch of people lived up there. So, yeah, I've been up there a few times as a kid.
I have a cousin coming from to town to visit in April, and we were talking last night about what we're going to do with them while they're here. So I didn't. I've been to Biosphere before, but I don't know if that would be anything that she and her 21-year-old son would really be interested in. So we might just go to Tombstone and watch them do gunfights.
Oh boy, that's so touristy. Take him to the Desert Museum or the air and biggest air and space.
I was going to say go take them to see some
world.
planes.
We can do the air
any
and space.
21-year-old would like to see that.
Yeah, that would be good. The Air and Space Museum would be good too. We're trying to find places we can take my mom to. She's 89, so we probably have to wheel her around. But I don't think she would like the Biosphere either.
Not much.
Fair enough.
No. Cricket is here though, and guess what?
What?
Crickets got tickets.
We do.
What do you got?
Well, we've got the Southern Arizona Home Show happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the TCC. And if you want free tickets, you got to be 18 and up. You can swing by the studios, the Wildcats Radio 1290 studios, but you can only do that tomorrow and Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And you can pick up 4 tickets if you're 18 and up. We are located 575 West Roger Road on Roger Road to the west of Oracle.
And you better get here before 5 because we have a big gate and it closes, and then you're out of luck.
Yeah, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow and Friday. You can
I've
pick those tickets
never been around when the gate magically opens and closes. I kind of need to do that just to kind of see how it works. One day. Have you seen it do it in
Cricket
action?
gets here before it opens and leaves when it is open.
I leave in the mornings when it's open, and then I leave at night and it's closed. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it. Never seen it do its thing. And does somebody push a button and close it, or is it set on a timer?
It's on a timer.
It's programmed.
It's on a timer program? Okay. So the Southern Arizona Home Show, anything on your home buying? Anything that you're going to go? Are you going down there?
No, I couldn't possibly. No.
Couldn't possibly.
Car problems. Car problems.
What?
Too many squirrels and bunnies in the parking lot.
The Hemi has got an issue?
All the money I have is going into that car.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah, you got a big ass engine.
I'm glad you added engine at the end of that. Thank you for that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that the Hemi's not running.
Well, it's running, but
okay, it's just not running well.
I've got some things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to get some wires replaced.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll let
and
you get
others.
Other things.
And more.
Keep the pack rack.
Yeah.
Keep the pat racks out. The pat racks. The pack racks.
All anything with teeth can get in your car and chew it up.
Oh gosh, no, that's not fun at all.
Yeah.
All right, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives. Get those Southern Arizona Home Show tickets right here.
Mm-hmm. And from the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Westbound I-10 west of 22nd Street. Possible collision there, possibly reported as a wreck. Westbound I-10 west of 22nd and some slowing there approaching that area. 22nd Street east of I-10 at 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. That was a really bad collision earlier. That intersection closed at 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. Other wrecks reported Prince and Fairview, also 22nd Street and Sarnoff, and some slowing on westbound Ajo at Mission. 59 the overnight low, 88 sunny tomorrow, and 88 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle, one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
I'm Michael Jenkins here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. The push towards the NBA playoffs is here, and tonight we're targeting a battle between two of the best in the game. Giannis and the Bucks head to Denver to take on Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, with Damian Lillard out for the foreseeable future and the Bucks wrapping up their 5-game West Coast road trip. Today's play is Denver minus 5.5 to get back to their winning ways. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock and Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock and Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off.
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off.
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Whoa! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other. Sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last,
no.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
If you can't be at the game, then you should be at Dave & Buster's. It's the best place to eat, watch, drink, and play. Watch your favorite team throughout the entire tournament. Take a walk on the $1 Million Midway where you can play the biggest and newest arcade games. So when your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's. Watch all the sports you want. They have massive HD TVs, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
It's the rematch, Arizona and Duke on Thursday with a berth in the Elite Eight on the line. Our pregame coverage begins at 3 o'clock with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Tip-off at 6:39 on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The basketball world is heartbroken after it was announced that USC superstar Juju Watkins sustained a torn ACL in her right knee on Monday night in the Trojans' victory over Mississippi State. Watkins, the consensus favorite to win the Naismith Women's College Player of the Year award, was averaging 24 points per game in her sophomore season. She led the Trojans to a 30-3 record and a top seed in the NCAA tournament. Now, head coach Lindsey Gottlieb and her team will be without their best player as they try to bring USC its first national championship since 1984.
I mean, I'd be lying if I told you that I wasn't rattled seeing Juju on the floor and crying. This is a human game. Tried, obviously, my best to be what I need to be for the team, but, you know, internally it's a lot.
The Trojans will take on Kansas State in the Sweet 16 on Saturday. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Jody Jackson on Westwood One.
In the face of uncertainty, some things remain steady, like the Cummins 2027 X15. Built on 25-plus years of experience and delivering up to 4% better fuel efficiency in a weight-neutral system, the X15 gives you the strength to move forward fearlessly and confidence that no matter the obstacle, you can and will rise above it. The 2027 X15, forever rising. Estimates based on preliminary testing. Individual results may vary.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is your number to get in on the program, getting you set. Arizona and Duke. We're a little over 24 hours away now from the Sweet 16. Let's head back out to Newark, New Jersey. We've got some help out there this weekend. Mark Ernay joins us. He is a local radio sports reporter around the Big Apple neighborhood, and he's covering the Arizona Wildcats for us this week. First of all, Mark, pleased to have you on the show. Pleased to have you on board with us this week. Tell the folks a little bit about your radio career in the New York City area.
Well, I just wrapped up about a 25-year stint on the #1 all-news station in town, and with that in the United States, a little station called 1010 Wins. Unfortunately, part of a major corporate cutback in the last few weeks, but your audience might be familiar if they've listened to before Infinity Sports Radio. It was the CBS Sports Radio Network, and I was a large part of the update anchor crew. I used to work Saturday mornings during the old Moose and Maggie show.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a nice little run with them for a whole bunch of years, and I was going to be in Newark anyway to watch a little basketball, and you guys were able to make it worth my while, and it was a great time today. I had a lot of fun.
There you go. So is that the Maggie that is now Maggie and Perloff?
Indeed it is, yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Maggie and Perloff. You hear them every morning here if you get up really early, 3 to 7 on Wildcats Radio 1290. So, Mark, set the scene for us. I know it was like our play-by-play guy had texted out earlier that it was a record number of media that was supposed to be there covering the festivities today. Was it in fact that?
It was pretty packed, and we were joking that if St. John's had been slotted in the East region and obviously made it this far, instead of getting picked off last week, they would have needed a bigger building. Forget about a bigger room. But it was pretty well packed. It's interesting, the dynamic, and I'm not sure how it is that they select who goes in which locker room, but Duke by far had the biggest locker room. It was almost the size of all three other schools combined. Your Wildcats had sort of Spartan accommodations in the Prudential Center, but I think BYU and Alabama had maybe a little bit smaller, if you can believe it.
So you mentioned St. John's, so I got to ask you before we get into it, I got to ask you about St. John's, the run they had, the great Rick Pitino coming back and taking over that program. How much excitement in the city is there about that program?
There was a lot. They were the #1 story for the last few weeks. The Knicks' playoff positioning in the NBA postseason is pretty much determined. The Nets are a horror show, but they weren't expecting much anyway this year. And the run-up to baseball has been kind of blah. especially with the Yankees losing their ace Garrett Cole to Tommy John surgery. And as exciting as things might be out in Queens with the Mets, opening day not until tomorrow. So it really was all St. John's on the back pages of our tabloids here. And a lot was expected of them. Listen, they had a great year. They weren't picked to win the Big East, but they did in the regular season, ran the table in the Big East tournament. And a lot of people had them going, if not to the Final Four, at least that far. A lot of us had them going all the way, winning the national championship, which has never happened in the current iteration of the NCAA tournament. And there was a lot of disappointment when they went out to Arkansas last weekend, I'll tell you that.
Well, they picked up Josan Sannon out of the transfer portal, who had originally committed here to the University of Arizona. And then when Caleb Love decided he was coming back, Josan said, well, I'm not going to sit behind Caleb Love, so I'll go up the street and play at ASU, which he did, and deciding to transfer out of there. And now he'll head back to the big city in New York. So Rick Pitino picking up a pretty nice young guard to add to whatever else he might have coming back next year. And we all know in this day and age, you never know what you got coming back. You might have a whole new team coming back next year, the way that this transfer portal works. So Mark is covering the Wildcats for us this week in Newark, New Jersey. Mark, you had a chance to catch up with a few of our guys today.
Yeah, it was fun. Had a nice chat with Henry Visar, the center, who was not a big part of the game against Duke at the McHale Center back before Thanksgiving, but obviously he has made his mark on the rotation of late. Had a chance to talk to Carter Bryant. I know you guys are very heavily invested in his pregame meditation routine, so he told me all about that. Had a chance to catch up with Jaden Bradley, who was really good. And Tobe Awaka, of course, as far as any local presence goes here in the New York metropolitan area, he's not exactly from New York City. He's from a place called Dutchess County in a town called Hyde Park. But Toby's the closest they have to local here at the Sweet 16, and I had a chance to talk to him earlier today for sure.
You're as close to a local as this team has. So what does it mean to you to be able to play in such a big game in almost your backyard?
I mean, it means a lot, but it's not really something I'm paying too much attention to. I'm just really focused on the task at hand, which is Duke. Honestly, we could be playing in Alaska for all I care. It's just about, getting ready for this game and, what it means.
Well, you did play them already, obviously, back in late November at your place. What do you remember, aside from the final score, what do you remember the most about that night?
They're high-level talent that plays really hard. They're great at scouting. They're great at sticking to the report and, executing it throughout, the whole game. And that's an intensity and a mindset that we have to match.
From a personal standpoint, how different is your game 4 months later than it was back then?
I think just more poised, probably a little bit more focused aggression as well. Picking and choosing my spots better, knowing when it's better to kick out, when it's better, to score and seize that opportunity. And then also my playmaking, getting my teammates involved and things like that.
How different is your team than it was in late November?
I think we all know each other pretty well at this stage. I think earlier in the season we were just figuring each other out, understanding our play styles, and just still gelling and meshing as a team. And obviously coaches are still tinkering at that stage in the season with lineups and different schemes and things of that nature. So I think we have a better idea of what our identity is now.
Just two things left for you. I want to fill in the blank if you don't mind. Aside from the final score, Arizona makes it to the Elite Eight against Duke, winning the game if. What's the blank?
We match their intensity.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And from a personal standpoint, again, not necessarily your backyard, but you're as close to a local as it gets on this team. How many friends and family do you have coming down from Hyde Park to watch tomorrow night?
I would say around 10 to 12. 10 to 12.
15 the maximum, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Anybody special other than parents?
Old AAU coaches, things like that. People that sort of help propel me, earlier in my basketball career to where I am now.
You played any games here before?
I played at Madison Square Garden my freshman year, Sweet 16 actually, too. So yeah. No.
Have you seen any games here?
I have not.
First time
Yes, sir.
Impressions of?
I like it. It's a little old school. It kind of has a mature aura to it. So it'll be exciting.
Mark Arnay with our guy Tobe Awaka. You mentioned Mark. He's from Dutchess County, which is about an hour north of the main part of the city. Played at St. Francis Prep for Jimmy Lynch. Is that a pretty big known Catholic school program in the New York City area?
It's among them, absolutely.
He was obviously a tremendous talent out of that particular school and decided to go to Tennessee and now ending up here at the University of Arizona. What did you take away, Mark, from your conversations with the Duke contingent today?
Well, it was interesting. I was trying to get them to give me a little lowdown on Vieser's, added dimension, because he's seen a lot more playing time. And I mentioned to Henry, in fact, that, since the early part of December, he has played 20 minutes or more in 20 of the 29 games that the Wildcats have played. So I was trying to get a little bit of a scouting report from Pat Ngangba and Kaman Muluich, but the best I got was from a guy who is essentially relegated to the scouting team these days, and Neil Begovic is their backup center, and he had some great material, which you guys will be able to hear in the next little while. But he's a star in the making. I was watching him in the Duke locker room doing some interviews for their YouTube channel, and he really has a bright future ahead of him. This is an interesting guy. We mentioned all the games that Caleb Love has played against Duke, having been at Carolina. But Begovic, having been at Stanford, he's played a dozen games already, or at least been part of a dozen games against the Wildcats. And tomorrow night will be number 13, which is even more than Caleb has gone up against Duke.
Well, hopefully he played in, because the Wildcats had a long winning streak over the Stanford Cardinal. I think they got snapped in Tommy's second year. It might have been the COVID year that they went up there and they lost for the first time in like some 13, 14 games. So hopefully he's used to losing to Arizona, and it happens again on Thursday night. Hey, Mark, we appreciate your work today. We'll look forward. Mark will join us on our pregame show tomorrow with more on some of the folks that he talked to, as well as we'll hear from him after the game, as he'll be in the locker room covering your Wildcats, win or lose. We'll get reaction from the Cats after the Sweet 16 contest against the Duke Blue Devils. Mark, appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Looking forward to it, DK. Thanks for having me.
Mark Arnay, New York City sports reporter, does some play-by-play for a number of the collegiate programs there in the area. I think he's with Wagner and some other places. So good to have Mark on board with us this week covering your Arizona Wildcats, because we can't be there, so we try to take you as close to the action as we can. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Much more coming up. Final segment. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Slowdowns for the northbound I-19 merge onto westbound I-10. Collisions reported Grant Road at I-10, River Road and Sabino Canyon. Some restrictions on Sabino Canyon at River Road. 22nd Street in Sarnoff, Prince Road in Fairview, FEMA and Country Club. Also, serious collision occurred on 22nd Street east of I-10 at 22nd Street and 10th Avenue. That intersection is closed. 59 the overnight low, 89 tomorrow, and 88 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Did you miss the big game?
They need a 3 to get to overtime.
You know we got you covered.
Midcourt, shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
Trying to keep it close, and you never give up. I guess that's life in the Big 12.
Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other. Sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last,
no.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year, we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. Call now. 800-575-8924. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
These days, figuring out what, where, and how to watch TV is out of control. And so is the cost. That's why I'm psyched I found Philo. Live TV from A&E, Discovery, MTV, and all the channels I love. A huge library of movies and shows. And an unlimited DVR to save them. I also get AMC Plus and all their blockbuster hits. All this for just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Give it a try, risk-free at philo.tv.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. I didn't see this one coming. After signing Jameis Winston, the New York Giants added another veteran QB yesterday in Russell Wilson. And who knows what this means for the Giants' draft plans. The only thing I can confidently say about the NFL draft is that Cam Ward will be the first overall pick. And after that, as long as the Browns and Giants don't trade up to the number 1 spot, then one of them should take either Shedeur Sanders at 2 or 3, but clearly there isn't a guarantee that either will do so. I'm Zach Gelb.
Ready to shoot your shot? Log into BetMGM and make your picks in our March Matchups $250K Pick'em for your chance to win a share of bonus bets. It's free to play and easy to get started. Just log into your BetMGM account and predict what will happen at different points throughout the college basketball tournament. You'll earn points with every correct answer, which gives you a shot to win a share of bonus bets. That's right. Just pick what will happen throughout March Matchups, and if you make enough correct picks, you'll win a share of the $250K in bonus bets. You think you know college basketball? Log into BetMGM and make your picks to win a share of $250,000 in bonus bets. It's free to play. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. Arizona only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, final segment of today's show. Don't forget, tomorrow is a game day, Sweet 16 game day. We will be coming to you from the Union Public House, St. Philip's Plaza. We'll be inside, kind of in that grassy area between Union and Reforma. We'll do the show from there. Kelvin will be out there. Jada will be out there with us. We'll all be out there for the show. Looking forward to that. I don't think we've actually taken the whole. I think we did actually one time last year.
You know when we did?
Yeah, we did one time.
We did this year.
Was it this year?
At McHale in November for the Duke game.
That's right. That's right. We did do that one time this year. So we'll do it again for the Duke game in the Sweet 16. Last time these two teams played, it was in the tournament was 2011, and the Diamondbacks. I've got Diamondbacks on the brain right now. The Wildcats.
Baseball stuff.
Baseball stuff. That's right. Opening day tomorrow. So you can't stop me. I'm already trying to line up my day to make sure I can watch all the games that I need to watch, because they're free for the first week. And then you only get the games you pay for. And I only pay for the Guardians. So I don't know if I'm going to get to see many. I didn't really get the Diamondbacks at my house last year, so I don't know that that's going to change.
Get this man an antenna.
We don't have the Diamondbacks. We don't have the Suns on the north side. See, I have to come down here and watch y'all, because we get all that stuff here. So I have to come down here and watch all my Phoenix sporting events.
You could go to your local grocery store, sit down at the bar, do that whole thing.
You're funny.
Oh, no, wait, you can't
do that. No,
they don't have bars there.
They closed the bar at the Whole Foods. Dang it. So we're talking about Corbin Burns. I want you to hear from Corbin Burns what he said about this whole snafu with the training. If you want to call it a snafu, again, I don't know that it is, other than the fact that Torey Lovello took a long time to make the decision about who was going to be the opening day starter. And when it wasn't Corbin Burns, it kind of just, they had to sit down and figure out, okay, with his routine, where does he slot in? And he didn't slot into the first weekend. He's not going to slot in until the second series of the season. Let's hear Corbin Burns' side of all of this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well documented. Ever since I was a pretty bad pitcher in 19, I made some changes, and it's kind of made me the pitcher I am as far as my process and my routine. And they announced Zach as opening day starter, so next was to kind of figure out where I fit in my schedule, my routine for it, and we really only had one option. So once we sat down and talked about it and communicated, that's what kind of the plan is.
Corbin, is that okay with you? Like to be slotted in that spot and not get one of the first outings to pitch out there?
Yeah, for me, it's not the slot I'm pitching in. It's where it fits into my routine. So obviously the decision was made pretty late in camp, so we didn't have much time to adjust to it, and so that was kind of really the only option we had.
Was there any frustration with the communication?
No. Obviously he had a tough decision to make. Myself and Kaplan had kind of set our schedule for the spring in mid-late January, so it was something that it had been out there for a while of when I was going to pitch and what kind of was my progress or my progression leading up to the season was going to be like. So I don't think it really caught anyone by surprise that I was throwing those days, but more about just he was like I say, agonizing over the decision. So when he made the decision, next was kind of figure out where he would fit into my routine.
So Corbin Burns through today, if you heard Torey Lovello's comments earlier in the show, so he was going to throw on the off day, which was today, because the Diamondbacks played 2 exhibition games at Chase Field Monday and Tuesday against the Guardians. Today was the off day, in between which obviously the home opener is tomorrow night, 7:10, first pitch, Cubs. That's a pretty nice team to have in. to open up this season with. It's a 4-game series, so they'll play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Chase Field. So it'll be Gallen to pitch game 1, Merrill Kelly to pitch game 2, Brandon Fott 3, Rodriguez will pitch the 4th slot on Sunday, Eduardo Rodriguez, who was another pitcher acquired last year, and then Corbin Burns. After the off day, the Diamondbacks will be off on Monday. He'll pitch the first game at Yankee Stadium against the New York Yankees. So, again, pretty high-profile first start for Corbin Burns on the road against the American League champions in a game that will be nationally televised on TBS at 4:05 next Tuesday. So I'll at least get a chance to see that game because it'll be on national TV. And then it'll go back to Gallen and Kelly, who are both on my fantasy team, J-Dub, if you were interested in knowing that. I've got Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. Both. I did something different with my team this year. I kind of picked a lot of players on the Diamondbacks and the Guardians because the name of my team is Guardians of the Tribe. So I wanted to have a team that had a lot of Guardians and a team that had a lot of other players that I was familiar with. So I've got a team full of Diamondbacks and Guardians, essentially, going into this fantasy season. We'll see how that all plays out. Your Desert Diamond Casino replay is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It is Arizona's best bet, and it is Brian Peabody, the head basketball coach up at Pima College on the men's side, joined us earlier in the show, and we asked him about his 35-1 team and what he learned from his players this season. You mentioned these guys kind of coached themselves. Give me an example of something that, you thought, I've got to talk to them about this, and then maybe you said, well, maybe I don't because they're talking to themselves about it.
Yeah, it'd be a huddle. It happened like 3 or 4 times during the national tournament, and I'm calling timeout. Hey, we need to do X, Y, and Z, and then I kind of just step away, and then Gabe would step up, Cohen Jay would step up, Wes would step up, and just say, hey, not only do we need to do that, we need to do this, and this. And everything they said was accurate, and they probably articulate it way better than I could. And so they're smarter, they talk better, and it was just fun to listen and take a back seat and watch these guys do that. I've never had a team do that. Maybe I didn't allow it. I don't know. Maybe I was stubborn back in my day. Maybe I'm getting too nice when I get older, but I let them coach their way through it. And everything they said was true. And so I just let them coach it, and where the chips fall, they fall. And I was really pleased with them and what they said and how they handled each other and came together as a group. I mean, that doesn't happen very often. Everybody's thinking about their own stats and all that kind of stuff. These guys just wanted to win. And you, like I said, you get a team like that every 10 years.
That is Brian Peabody, your Desert Diamond Casino replay. It is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook, and that is America's best bet. Congratulations again to those folks over at Pima College, both the men and the women, and not really just the basketball teams. I mean, they've got some really good stuff going on over there right now. The softball team is killing it. I think, I don't, off the top of my head, I'm not sure of their ranking. The baseball team is ranked. So Rebecca Quiros on the softball side, her team is doing is off to a really great start. And Ken Hakimi on the baseball side, his kids are doing extremely well. So their team sports are just at the top of it right now. When you go back to the fall, the success they had with their soccer programs, and then all the way through to basketball, and now what they're doing with the team sports in the spring, and obviously track continues to be ultra successful as well. I believe the softball team, if I'm not mistaken, is 34-1 this season.
So what are the Sears Cup, Directors Cup standings for that level? Because, I mean, Pima has to be right up there.
You would think this year, absolutely. They do have something along those lines. I forget the name of it. But, yeah, it's they would be, I would think, pretty close to the top this year or in line potentially to win that. Yeah, the softball team is 33-1. They've won 14 games in a row. Baseball is 31-9. and they're 17-9 in conference play. So, yeah, both those teams killing it, absolutely killing it.
All they do is win over there at Piedmont.
All they do is win, no matter what. All right, don't forget, tomorrow, game day, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, live from Union Public House at 3 o'clock. We'll be on the air from 3 to 6. We'll hand it to Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen at 6. Tip-off currently scheduled for 6:39, although it is the second game in Newark, New Jersey, so it could be, a little bit later than that. But we'll have you completely covered on everything Arizona basketball tomorrow. Mark Ernay will have more interviews for you as well from both the Duke side as well as the Arizona side, and Kelvin and J-Dub with their excellent analysis as well tomorrow. Keep it tuned right here for everything you need to know. All right, I'd like to thank the folks that joined us on this show today. Brian Peabody was one of those. Ryan Stotland, the women's tennis coach at the University of Arizona. Don't forget they're playing ASU this weekend. Saturday at noon, get out and support them. Mark Renee from New York City covering your Arizona Wildcats for J-Dub for cricket. Dragon Ball had the day off. They'll be back with us tomorrow. I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you on game day, Sweet 16 game tomorrow at 3 on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported River Road and Sabino Canyon, slowing on Sabino Canyon at River Road, Prince and Fairview, Pima and Country Club. And also on 22nd Street east of I-10, 22nd Street and 10th Avenue, no through travel. 59 the overnight low, 88 sunny tomorrow, and 87 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
We are your home for all things Arizona basketball. 3 hours of pregame.
They're not going to finish the season 19-1, guys.
2 hours of postgame.
I guarantee you, Coach told the guys don't come over and help on him.
And all the action in between. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be, but thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year.
These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
These days, figuring out what, where, and how to watch TV is out of control. And so is the cost. That's why I'm psyched I found Philo. Live TV from A&E, Discovery, MTV, and all the channels I love. A huge library of movies and shows, and an unlimited DVR to save them. I also get AMC Plus and all their blockbuster hits. All this for just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Give it a try, risk-free at philo.tv.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 9,000 5-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. No one is talking Roadrunners, Sugar Skulls, and FC Tucson like us. We are Southern Arizona's #1 sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290.